Dimp Digital presents Idle Game Chat.
Cool.
Hello, Mr. Apps here from Dimp Digital, and welcome to this proof of concept, or maybe it's a soft launch of Idle Game Chat going monthly. This is going to be the December 2024 edition. You probably would have seen it if you read the show notes that this is what's happening, what's taking place. I thought I'll just open up the show though to offer a little bit of an explanation, although not really much to say really. I mean, for those of you that are subscribed, for those of you that have been patrons and all that good stuff, which we greatly appreciate, you would have noticed that the weekly cadence of Idle Game Chat has finally dropped off. We had a pretty good streak going of over a year, I think, at one point of episodes coming out every single week. You know, an hour or so of content. We made a few changes in the new year, started to cut out the news segments, and basically the hamster wheel that is required to keep a weekly podcast going just became a bit too much. It's partly the churn of like content, so the games that people are playing, being able to get them out in a timely manner. That's definitely part of it. Like since I've started to get into much longer JRPGs, for example, that's slowed down my ability to get through games on a quicker clip. So that's part of it. The amount of time it takes to kind of edit, publish, promote an episode also on a weekly basis just became a bit difficult, to be honest. That's the one part I completely hate about doing this, if I'm being totally honest. And trying to keep up with it every week, trying to concern myself with, again, trying to get people to do the content, and that it just became too much. So we're going to opt for a proof of concept or a soft launch of a monthly podcast. That's how it's going to be going into next year. This will allow us to perhaps stick to an agreed cadence. And I suspect some of the episodes, like some of the monthly episodes, will be longer. You know, if you added like the 4 weeks worth of content, it will be longer than what the weekly ones would have been. But this just gives us breathing room to do shit, to get shit done. And it perhaps allows us to do other things. You know, there's the things we've done many years ago, like interviewing indie developers, things like that. There may be time to do stuff like that. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but it just, I think, opens up more possibilities. So that's what we're doing. This December one's kind of been thrown together at a bit of a late notice, but wanted to at least soft launch it this year, and then next year from January, it'll be, you know, you'll get one in January, you'll get one in February. In terms of the timing, the first Tuesday of every month is what we're aiming for. So that's that. If you're a patron, you'll get that the weekend early. So the aim of the game is to have that up by a Saturday, and then you guys can enjoy that throughout the weekend. And yeah, that's all there is to say. I'm impressed that we got this far doing a weekly one, if I'm honest. I really am. I really thought that would die a death long time ago. And I just think now, you know, you go through phases in life, you change, things change, priorities change, your time changes where you can put that time where you can't put it anymore. And this just makes sense for us going into 2025. And I think the content will be better than ever, personally. But it will just be at a less frequent rate. And look, I respect all the people out there doing weekly podcasts, especially guys that are doing it in hobby-based like we do. Those that are getting like massive patrons and whatnot, I have less sympathy for, because you're raking it in and you don't have full-time sort of normie jobs which most of us, if not all of us, do. So I'm hoping this will be a good move for us, and it allows us to continue dipping into this, allows us to do a few other interesting things. Like, one of the things you'll have noticed through 2024 is, let's just say a video game has been played by myself and someone else. Let's say me and Adkins played Astro or whatever it might be. We do the sort of the episode, the review episode. If someone comes along later on, their opinion sort of get relegated to a voice note, because in my head, it didn't make sense for us to dedicate an entire episode to that. Because we just had it maybe 3-4 weeks before. Now, of the monthly cadence, it will just be a segment amongst hopefully some other interesting conversations. So I think it's going to open things up from that perspective. We haven't got to stick to just doing reviews either. We can do all manner of things. Anyway, I wanted to treat it like those old school magazines that you might get on a monthly basis, an old school gaming magazine where there's a review in there, then there's like an interview, there's a preview, there's maybe a bit about the news, editorials. I could do solo monologues like this for stuff that I just want to speak about, or if someone else wants to speak about, they can just jump on, do a monologue, and that can be dropped in, rather than having to fit in this sort of constrained box of a weekly cadence. It just chuck it in the monthly magazine episode, and then it'll be what it'll be. So it should be a little bit of variety there. Obviously, there's never any promises in this game. Something could go wrong, something could not work, but this is what we're going to do. We've got December 2024 to look forward to here, and then January going into 2025 we'll be up and running as well. So the only real I'm trying to think of exceptions to this rule, and this is something I'm toying with, but pretty much sorted. The quiz will go as a bonus stage episode. We still have that ability to mark them as bonus episodes, and I think the Fantasy Gaming League draft and results show will go separately as well. That January feels too late to kind of give you that content, at least for this first go. We'll see how it goes into next year, but those I think will stay separate and just be sprinkled out throughout December as and when they're kind of ready. The other good thing about the monthly cadence is could dedicate monthly things like an update to the Fantasy Gaming League. Like I tried to do that weekly, but you didn't have a cut-off time. There was sometimes a lot on, or it didn't make sense once we just moved to just gaming takes. So yeah, I'm hoping to introduce that. There's other monthly things that I know people used to enjoy with the European sales data. That could, in theory, make a return also, but I'm not going to make any promises. But I imagine there's going to be a lot of experimentation. Most of the chat will be us talking about the games that we've played or been playing, so that'll still be a core part of this offering, but it kind of gives us room, I think, to scope out some new things. So yeah, look, that'll do for this opening, this little introduction and explanation why it's just one of those things. This is a hobby podcast at the end of the day, and therefore we have to kind of do, it's either it goes away altogether or we try something new, and I'm like, well, let's try something new. Let's go monthly. None of the other guys know this other than Adkins, so he'll be on the show later on talking about a shitload of games that he'd packed through. But Mr. Logan didn't know or doesn't know as I'm recording this, so he'll find out live when I speak to him in a little bit. But yeah, that's where we are. Idle Game Chat goes monthly. Your first edition of this new style is for December 2024. And as usual, I'll see you on the other side. Astro's Playroom. Got Mr. Apps here and Mr. Logan, who's going to be reviewing
Where's this fucking intro?
Playroom. There's no intro needed anymore. I told you we got a few surprises.
Right. Well, I didn't expect it off the bat.
Logan won't have heard the intro, so he has no idea what's going on.
New one?
Well, it's not. No. There's no change to the intro, but I've done a formal introduction of just me explaining what's been going on.
Oh,
it's gone monthly, isn't it?
Is it?
Yep.
I thought you were about to say we're going pro. We're going full time. I was like, where's this come from? Can I quit my day job?
Not yet.
Sadly not.
So yeah, these are monthly editions. Like a big, you'd get like a monthly gaming magazine, have a load of shit in it, and you'd read it for
like
the
a
whole
bumper
month.
edition.
Yeah, so now that's the way of doing it, because I can't be asked to keep fucking publishing this every week. And plus, we don't do it quick enough, so...
Yeah.
These will be, I would imagine on average, this has been explained already, but they can hear it again, you can hear it, longer in terms of the monthly episodes will be longer than a typical episode. But they will just be less frequent. So we'll see.
Like a monthly Rogan drop.
Yeah, I mean that's two. He does what, like 3 of those a week, doesn't he? I mean that's ridiculous.
I don't. Sometimes it feels like he does more than that, and I'm like, how are you? I mean, don't get me wrong. If someone said, "Joe, go to work for 3 hours a day," you go, yeah. Like, but it's to do 3-hour podcasts every day. You'd be like, cool, but you pay millions of dollars a year. You get up and do it.
Yeah, we don't get millions yet.
No,
so they get cutbacks, Steiner style. This is. When the fuel allowance gone, so now we're on the fucking bread line.
You have to make do with what you get. What you get given.
And this December edition is more of a proof of concept, or like a soft launch. So it might change. Well, there's nothing really to change. It's just that the conversations are rolled up into a longer episode.
I actually quite like that idea because it takes off a lot of the hassle that can come involved with editing and doing all the other stuff.
It's a hamster wheel every week. It's got to be done on time, otherwise you can't miss. You don't get time. There's too much turnaround. So this just allows that to happen. And we'll see. People get annoyed when things change, but they keep walking away from.
I quite like that idea.
They keep walking away from Patreon. They'll get changes, so they need to learn it's their fault. And in pocket, innit?
You get what you pay for.
Exactly.
You pay more, you get more in some walks.
Astro's Playroom.
Yes.
Why are we playing this?
Yeah, it's a good question.
A fucking packing game from when the bloody console release, PS5. Yeah.
So this has been fucking nagging the back of my head literally since it come out.
Because... All right, so it wasn't Astro bought the reviews and you was like, cool, I need to get on that now. It wasn't that.
No, so, well...
Put it on its radar.
That pushed it up the priority list.
Expedited it.
That's expedited it because I want to play that. Like, that's the ultimate goal. But I was like, I can't... In my head, I was like, I can't do that if I haven't played this little, like, first one and satisfied that. Like, so I was like, I don't... Like, why would I do that? That doesn't make sense, right?
No.
But basically... What happened was I did play this when it come out, and I played it quite a far. I think I got through basically to the boss, and then this was back when I had my TV downstairs, my PlayStation on the big TV downstairs, right? And I was doing it on that, and I was just for some reason I couldn't do the end boss, right? And I don't know why, because it wasn't even that hard. So. No. Basically, it was one of those things where I was like, I'll just do it. And I never got back to it. So the intent actually was to get back on it and just finish it up, tidy it up, get the last few little bits from the levels and walk away. It was meant to be like half hour to 45 minutes. But when I booted it up, I don't know what's happened, but it didn't remember my progress. It was like a fresh start. And I was like, well... This probably isn't the worst thing in the world because going from nothing for, I don't know, when did that PlayStation, was it a year ago or longer it come out? Or when did I get it?
When you got the PlayStation? I don't know when you got that actually, yeah.
Hold on. Let me quickly log into my Amazon. We'll find out how long ago that was. So I got it off Amazon, didn't I? You sent me a link.
That's the other good thing about these month episodes is that there's no time limits because there isn't. So this sort of waffle adds to the charm of it. So really trying to hard sell these fuckers on this. Every little...
How weird's this, right? That I've typed in PlayStation, right, in the search. And the first things that come up are PlayStation 5 controller, PlayStation 4, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 5 Pro, PlayStation 5 games, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 5 Slim, PlayStation 5 Bundle. Where is just the PlayStation 5? Like, why is that not...
Well...
Maybe it already knows I've got one.
It might do. You don't want one of those again, but that's not always true. You might need a replacement.
Well, the simple answer here is I don't know, because it ain't fucking letting me. Why again? Search. Oh, here we go. PlayStation. So I think this is important context. August 2021 I bought this.
All right, so it's been 3 years, over 3 years.
Fucking
wasn't it?
ages. Yeah. Fuck it. I didn't realise I've had it that long, actually.
Well,
That's mad, isn't it? Where's that time fucked off to?
what year was it? 2021 again?
Yeah.
Are we still at home
I've had
for
it-
a while?
We were.
Yeah, I think that's fucked everything. It seems like that was last year. Like you said, that was last year you had in your head.
I
and
literally
it wasn't.
thought I'd had it for about a year. I've had it for 3. I've lost 2 years of my life. Work that out.
It's cost everyone. Something happened there. Someone was fucking about with time and space, I think. And no one
Someone's
noticed.
fucked about with it, yeah. And it's just, I agree. So, yeah, basically, I'd have started playing that probably in 2021.
Yeah.
Weirdly. And it's been in the back of the mind ever since. I haven't done that. And I've been meaning to go back to it. And then, basically, obviously, the reviews come out for Astro Bot. And I was like, I really want to do that. But then I was like, I can't do it without it. And at some point, I was like, right, I'm going to have to just boot that up and do this last boss. It can't be that hard. And that basically took me back to, progress was gone. I don't know why. Maybe there was some update in the last 3 years that made that happen. And the progress has gone, so started it again. But actually, I wasn't that disappointed about it because I was like, it'd actually be nice to, because I think when it was the only thing I had with the console, so I was sort of just fucking about and just not really properly paying much attention. So it's actually nice to properly play it and try and do a thorough-ish kind of playthrough on it. And then I literally did it all in one day.
Yeah, it's not long, is it? It's 4 or 5 hours, I think, if you're slow.
I think my game time was 8, but I think
That's
that
plus.
included the previous
Yeah, it will.
bit that I did,
So it's not a long game from what I remember.
No.
But that's interesting. Yeah, I mean that is good context so people understand what's going on. And yes, just for the last time, this is Astro's Playroom, not Astro Bot. It's a different title. This came packed into the PS5. Let's see what the store page has got to say. Although you don't be offloading any cache for this, it just comes pre-installed and updates, I assume. Astro and his crew take you on a magical exploration of the PS5 console. From the team behind the critically acclaimed PlayStation VR adventure Astro Bot Rescue Mission comes a brand new platformer preloaded on your PlayStation 5 console. Explore 4 different worlds, each one showcasing innovative gameplay using the new and versatile features of the PS5 DualSense wireless controller. The game is free for all PS5 console users and is designed to be enjoyed by gamers and families alike, although there's no 2-player option, so pass the pad jobby. Feel the world, take control of Astro and feel the world for your DualSense wireless controller. Every step you take, every jump you make, and every enemy you defeat are expressed in ways never felt before thanks to new cutting-edge vibration technology. Explore. Take time to enjoy the many hidden references to PlayStation console history and collect timeless artifacts that display in your beloved PlayStation Labo. Enjoyable for all, with non-stop magic, endearing characters and plenty of humour. This is the perfect game for families to enjoy. And then it lists off the PS5 features, funnily enough. Haptic feedback, faster load and adaptive triggers. Tempest 3D audio on compatible headphones. Bit of a mouthful, but they've got it in there. So that's what they're saying. I remember when this came out, with this is the first thing I played when the PS5 came out. And I just thought it was a stroke of genius putting this on there. Because it's not long. It's really easy to pick up and play. And it does showcase that controller. Like, you think, Christ, this has got some real potential. And in a time when the Xbox Series X came out a week or so before, and it launched with nothing, I was like, well, I don't know how this has got past them. I haven't thought to do something like this, because Assassin's Creed Valhalla's not the one. So this was like, for me, I was like, well, no, I'm going to play. I'll play the PS5 to start off with. So I've actually got something unique here to play.
Yeah.
And it's a nice little bite-sized introduction to it. And, you know, if you like your PlayStation history, it's got all the different devices they've had throughout the years, tiny little blurbs about them. And it's just I found a joyful experience. What was really cool was going back to it before Astro Bot came out. And there was like some added bits they'd done. They were impossible puzzles. I had to look them up, but they added new trophies and whatnot. And then I finished it, I think, the night before Astrobot was due to launch. and you go to this little area and had a little countdown to midnight for like when the game was launching. Like you go in there, all the little bots are in there fucking about, and I was like, this is a nice continuity as well, kind of like 4 years later. But I really liked it. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, because obviously you're playing it outside of that sort of the new bubble, like the new console, the excitement that comes with that. You've had the PS5, as we just found out there, for 3 years or so, and I'm wondering whether it still has the same effect years on when it's not fresh out the box.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember that when I first started playing it, and as you say, that controller still, to be fair, is something special, like in terms of how it works with games. Like,
people don't want to hear it, but it's true.
It is. It's probably one of, if not the best controller I've ever had with any console. Like, I think
there's nothing that comes close to it, is there? Really?
No, there isn't. I mean, even just like my old criticism of the older sort of PlayStation controllers was that it don't feel as nice in your hand as an Xbox One. But they've rounded it off a bit, I would say, and they've made it slightly more ergonomic. So I think even, to hold it now, and I'm holding it as we speak, actually, it just feels super nice. Like, it feels like a nice controller. And all of the haptic feedback and the touchpad and, the microphone, that having a speaker on it, just all these little things together are just, it just makes something extra. It just makes it more than an input device, like a one-dimensional input device.
Get some feedback.
Yeah, a bit of something. It just adds another, and you kind of on the face of it think it doesn't really add much, but when you're watching the screen and you're pulling a bow back, and you're feeling that feedback of the bow, like, it does more than you think it. It does more than it's got the right to do. But I think it's a great way of being immediately introduced to all the different things that controller can do in one game. So it's it's still good to do that, because I predominantly obviously game on the Xbox still. It's nice to go back to the PlayStation and actually go, do you know what? This is pretty cool. Like, this is different gravy, if you want my opinion. And nowadays, if I could use this PlayStation controller on my Xbox, I probably would. I think
the thing is, you can use it on PCs now. And a lot of them have mapped a level of DualSense sort of functionality, so you kind of get that feeling. Well, surely you wouldn't want to use this for like competitive gaming though, like, because I hear people moan. The first thing they do in Call of Duty, for example, they turn off the adaptive triggers because there's different tensions depending on the gun you've got, which might be fun for the campaign, but if you're in a when you're fighting those other fucking sweats that are breathing down your neck, you just want it to be as consistent and easy as possible. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people basically change it, so you basically have to just barely touch it and it fires the gun, because it's literally, obviously, the difference between full extension and a little bit is like milliseconds that might make the difference. So that's what fucking Call of Duty's become, by the way. At some point, we need to get into that. But basically, a lot of people would change that and turn it off. But still, I even think, like, when I look at, so the main difference from me, and this is this is no good for all the people watching, but obviously here you've got, oh God, that doesn't look very good on there, but the Xbox One. Yeah. The main difference for me still is the position of that left-handed stick. I still think that is better, but the way that it's positioned on here now, I think it's less of a concern. Like, I don't feel like I kind of notice it as much on the PS5 controller as I felt like I did on the 4.
Yeah, I never have had a problem with that.
And a lot of people for competitive Rocket League obviously use controllers, and they use PlayStation controllers. They don't use Xbox ones.
Why is that?
Don't know, but they all pretty much use this layout of this one where it's there.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, which I do find interesting. But basically, it was nice. I still bloody love it. Basically, obviously, it's not as surprising, if you like, because I have used it for various other games already, but it's still, because I use it so infrequently, it's nice to come back to it, and it still feels really good. And it still sometimes catches me off guard with the haptic feedback. I'm like, oh, that's nice. It's still as impressive for me as it was really 3 years ago.
That's all good to hear. Go on.
So yeah, basically, it
Pause.
was nice to fundamentally go back to this and actually exercise those demons because I must admit I was a bit worried about doing that final level.
Was it? Did you get stuck on it this time round, or did you just blow straight
No,
through that far?
first time, first fucking no. Well, no, actually, second time. But literally, after I got so far on my first run, I was like, "This is easy." And I genuinely can't tell you why I got stuck the first time round on it. I must have just been like double shit.
Struggled.
Yeah, it was really odd because I sort of got to it. I obviously finished because I probably could say a fair bit now 3 years later that it doesn't matter. But obviously you get 4 different levels.
Yeah.
You finish those levels and you kind of get this like one final bonusy boss level, right?
Do you remember I won't say what it is, but do you remember that from back in the day that?
Yeah.
I saw it. I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah,
I can't believe
it's those little things that I love in that game. Actually, like one of the best thing is the amount of nostalgia they've kind of cracked into it. And my favourite thing, like I genuinely want to go around and get all the get all the bits and bobs because I want to see them, and then go around in the labo afterwards and play around with them. Like it's really cool to see it. So. Yeah, it is good for because despite me being on Xbox for a significant period of time, I started out PlayStation. Like I had a PS1, and then I had an Xbox OG as well. Yeah, and then from there on, I kind of had a bit of a PC stint, and then went back to the 360 when I was about 17, 18. So yeah, it's a bit of a roundabout journey, but it was nice to do all that, and it's just a nice little touch. Like stuff like that nowadays, which makes me think Sony are just ahead of Microsoft. Like their nod to the history, the nostalgia, they kind of embrace it, like the way that they've even introduced the new 30th edition PS5 Pro, like that looks really cool. They play on all that kind of stuff, and I don't really feel like Microsoft does that. I mean, it's not like they've got as big of a heritage, right, with like the Xbox and stuff, but still, there's a fair bit there that they could do.
They could do more, absolutely. They've bought half the fucking industry as well now, so in 10, 15 years, they'll have an awful lot to look back on. But yeah, I mean, it is strange when you put them together like that. They don't play into theirs really at all, other than like weird the avatar costumes that you get for Xbox fucking profiles or whatever.
Yeah, on the wallpaper you can have like the original
like the blades and the little 360 one I think loaded on mine.
Yeah, but that's it really. Like some of that you could argue they've kept the colours because they're still predominantly black and green, and they've never really swayed away from that. But yeah, they don't really do retro, and I assume that's because the original PlayStation, come out before the Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean the Xbox was like 2001 in America, and then 2002 in this way, and then I think the PlayStation was like 94.
Yeah, so it was
a long. So they had a bit of a head start, not like a major head start, but enough. But I still think they could do something like this if they were. It just feels like they didn't even think of this. They were just sitting there like, don't really. Yeah, 94 for the PS1. I just don't think they would even had anyone sat there in any of the meetings and went, what about this, to like get the console with something packed in. And then best when once they found out it was happening, they were like, oh, well, I should have done that, but just didn't seem to strike a creative note, and just thought, well, we'll just buy another 3 studios and that'll plug the gap hopefully in 5 years. And it's like, well, you've done this backwards. It should have been done for launch, shouldn't it? You fucking prat.
Yeah, I would like them to like think about their. I mean,
well, they ain't gonna now. Everything's an Xbox. You seen these adverts?
Yeah, the thing is, they are very much focused on third party rather than first party stuff. Like, and I do get it, but you still think about the stuff that they could have done with a I don't know, some sort of Gears of War game mixed with some sort of nostalgia burst for people, and
Got Gears
Halo,
Pop.
and
Could have played that back in the
like,
day.
I just think like,
Funko Pop Gears there was.
was there?
I think it's like a mobile game. I remember just seeing it
I don't
thinking
remember
that's
that.
not what anyone asked for.
Yeah,
So
I just sometimes feel like they just miss the little notes that they could hit that just you go, oh, that's nice.
Well,
Like,
that's the difference between a bloody Japanese company and an American company, even though Sony are run mostly, well, not mostly, but have been westernized quite a
division.
bit. But they still
Yeah.
got their roots in Japan.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was a nice little thing to go back to, and you know, kind of refresh myself on the Astrobot piece before I at some point try and get involved with the full fat version that's obviously out now.
Yeah, I really liked both of these, and I was thinking if they do a proper game, quote unquote, like a bit more of a longer go at it and get it right, it's going to be really good. And I've played Astro Bot and think it's fucking quality. So yeah, they planted a seed here, and I didn't really know I wanted this. Or I didn't really know Sony would do anything like this because I'm so used to third person, you know, action adventures, like the absolute depression of their stories and narratives. Just being so bleak. I was like, they're not really. I thought they're not really caring about any sort of family-based or light-hearted games. Like they seemed like they was moving away from that, and then Team Asobi is still there doing this. So
I bloody love this style of game, by the way. Like, another thing that reminded me of it actually that I needed to play this was the Spyro trilogy has come onto Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I've been toying with that.
Why has that taken so long? They've had it a year.
I don't know.
They haven't even put all the Call of Duties on yet, have they?
Not to my knowledge, no. Well,
what are they
Ops
doing with that?
I don't know where the others are.
Stop fucking eking it out, or hang around another month and it might be there. I'm like, just chuck it on now. It's been a year.
No, I think they'll just continue drip feeding it to keep people happy.
Well, I ain't keeping people happy. It's driving me away.
But yeah, basically, I was like, I used to love Spyro because I had that on the PS1.
Yeah.
And I thought about going back there. And I was like, well, why would I start Spyro? And I've got this 3D puzzle platformer that's just sitting there unfucking completed. So yeah, I was like, I'll go back to that. But it's so nice to play a game where there's very little stress, and it's just something that's challenging but not stressful. It is easy, right? Let's not make too bad. It's not hard, but it's you can play it, you can enjoy it. You know, you can sort of challenge yourself with some of the puzzles and how to get them and stuff. I say puzzles, like how to get the what are they called? Artifacts.
Yeah. Get those artifacts.
So yeah, it's just a nice thing to sort of sit there for a few hours, and as I say, it's about an hour or so per world. So there's four bits per world, 4 levels per world, 15 minutes roughly per world, per level. It breaks down quite nicely. And then obviously you can start collecting a few bits. And I liked the machine where you use the coins to get
the gacha machine, or you gotcha machine.
Yeah. And the way that again, just like it's so satisfying with the haptic feedback.
Crunches,
I don't know why. It really chunk.
Yeah.
So it was.
What did you make? Because it's quite from memory, and I could be misremembering. There's quite they lean on quite a few what I would call, or what you might suggest to be, is like gimmick controls. Like there's one where you've got like a monkey's arms that you can extend, and you have to sort of tilt the controller. And I think there's a gliding part as well where you're using the gyros. There's a fair amount of that in it, and that can be really hit or miss with people because they just want to be grounded, running around with Astrobot and punching things. But I feel like there's a decent portion of this game where it's asking you to use the gyros and messing around. How did you find that part of it? He's not happy with it.
I get the principle of it. I found the one that I actually found more annoying was the jumping. Like you're getting a spring thing and you have to power up the spring and power it yourself. And
there's a trophy. There's a trophy. You have to head a ball, like a beach ball, with that for like 4 or 5 times in a row, which took me fucking ages to get. I remember when I was trying to get that, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I forgot about that spring-loaded one. Yeah,
the spring plus the gyro movement is a little bit finicky, I would say. It's just a little bit, that wears on you a little bit, I would say. But the gyro one, there's very little gliding, so again, I could kind of do that. But even that, you don't have to use the gyro. You can use the analog that kind of saves the day with it. Yeah, and the monkey one is sort of a little bit annoying having to sit there doing that. But because of the type of game that it is and what it's trying to do, I kind of forgive it. It's not like it's sort of gone, this is absolutely the best way to do it. It's demonstrating how that controller can be used to add another dimension to the gameplay. So, and there's not a lot of it, right? I think if there was a lot of that, the actual one that fucks me off more than anything was when you're in the ball and you have to use the touchpad to move the ball around this like really narrow roadway to get one of the artifacts, and I kept falling off, and I was like, you get to a point where you just want to go, who the fuck has done this? Like, why are we doing this? But after a couple of goes, I got it. But that's the one that I found the most grating. Is probably that. But yeah, overall, I get why it's all there. It's there demonstrating.
True. Yeah.
Like the capability of the controller. Like that's what the game ultimately is there to do. So it's then tricky to criticize it for demonstrating it just because I found it slightly annoying.
Yeah, that's understand. I mean, I say they lean on it less in the Astro bot. It still exists, but it's not like. I was quite pleased at how restrained they were, because I was like, the only thing really can, like you said, if they get one of those bad ones in there and put that back in, you're like, well, we thought we all agreed this was no good 3 or 4 years ago. So I think they've done a good job of like curating that and not making it being the sole focus for too long.
Yeah,
but even in this game, like you said, there's a couple of levels tops, and the focus is gone again. You're back to just running around.
It's not massively intrusive, and again, it's like because I kind of go, okay, I get the purpose of it. I give it a pass because it's demonstrating the capability. It's not saying this is how the prime way.
One result, and they already want him to sign a contract extension.
I don't know. I heard someone said, "Oh, we were terrible last night." I was like, "Well, drawing 2-2 with Roma ain't the worst result." I was like, "It's not. Everything doesn't have to be completely polar opposites. It's like we can't be great or terrible." I was like, "You can just be okay." Yeah, I thought largely it was good, but I'm glad that some of those additional mechanics, probably all of them, in some way, are restrained. I wouldn't want there to be 4 hours of me on a touchpad, for example. Like I'd start getting fucked off with that. So, yeah, I think it's the right amount and with the right kind of spirit. But it's all done with different environments and different, like it's not like you're doing the same thing in the same environment or anything. Like everything feels very distinct and very different. And they've designed an environment around the controls that they're trying to demonstrate as well. It's not like they've sort of pigeonholed anything in. So everything felt built to do what they wanted to do. And I liked that about it as well. It wasn't just sort of, it wasn't something where they've just adapted it or they've just gone, oh, we could just make it do that. Like it wasn't designed to be done necessarily with like an analog stick, and they've gone, oh, just change that to the touchpad. They've obviously thought we need to do this to demonstrate all the different things. They've built the whole level around that mechanic, which is good, right?
Yeah, that's what you want. Anything else about Astro's Playroom?
No, I just think it's a very wholesome game. I mean, it's good fun. It's a nice trip down memory lane. It's a family game. I enjoy playing it. Could probably give it to Harry. He would like playing it. Like so, a 36-year-old and a 5-year-old would probably have equal fun. So I think that's the credit to it as well. It doesn't
Don't let him beat your speed run times. There's like little.
I haven't actually tried any of them. I was like, again, I don't need to.
Don't get snarled up in that because you'll be fuming if he beats that.
I basically set a goal, which was I want to get all the levels done. I want to get all the artifacts, all the puzzle pieces, and then I was like, I can walk away from it. Yeah. There are a few more trophies left that I'm toying whether I might go and do at some point. But I don't. I feel like it's one of those where it's an easy plat.
Yeah,
Like,
it is. It's not like there'll be nothing there. It's not like that fucking Titanfall one where you just shoot the pilot with the delayed laser gun, or the charged laser gun
mate,
in the air when it was ejecting. Like it was. There's nothing like that in there. It's just you wouldn't, some of that stuff you wouldn't know to do. Like there's certain interactions it asks you to do, and you're like, okay, I would never have even thought that was a thing. Or there might be a secret area like right at the beginning of the level that you have to kind of purposely aim towards, but it's easy just to drop in and out of where you need to go.
yeah, that's another thing I liked actually is that like there's some levels where I did sort of like a first playthrough of the whole thing, completed it, did the boss, and then I was like, right, okay, I'll go back and do a mop up. And literally, you can go back into the level, find the bit that you need, and then just go back. Like, and it saves it. It doesn't make you finish it and go through it. Like, there's just loads of like, little things in each of the levels that I quite like that they do, where they just make it super like drop in, drop out, and like for a little freebie game, as you say, like you sort of do come away going, I want another one. Fortunately, I'm now in a position where I can go and get it. Yeah. Although I do have to say, I'm not that enthused about the price of it. And I don't know why. At the moment, £51. And for some reason, my brain is not accepting that as a viable option.
As an egg, this got it. Game.
Yeah,
library open.
Already tapped him up, which is why I asked you. I was like, "Did you borrow that? And is that how you played it? And have you still got it?" And you went, "No." So I got onto him. You went, "Oh, the kids are playing it at the moment." I was like, "Fucking hell!"
What's
I was
he
like,
doing?
"Why are they taking priority?"
No, he shouldn't be.
So yeah, I probably could weigh it out a bit. I've had a look in CEX, and it's a similar price still. I mean, look, it's just a going rate, but for some reason, I'm like, my brain is
highest rated game of the year according to Open Critic, and he won't even put hand in pocket for it.
Yeah, I don't know why, because it's not. It's just what I've for some reason in my head. I'm like, I'll go, oh, £30. And then they go, no, you go 50. And it's like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't know. I can't tell you for why. I may as yet crumble. But yeah, I was thinking, oh, Black Friday, there might be some deals going on where I can pick it up a bit cheaper. But yeah, the best you get off of it at the moment is sort of like $9.99 or whatever, which isn't the savings I want. But I definitely want to play it, and I definitely will at some point get around to it. So yeah, no, thoroughly enjoyed it. Good little game, and if anyone has got it on their console and hasn't played it, I would recommend it.
Yep, so would I. It was good when it first came out. It's good now, and then the sort of, I guess the proper go at it. This feels like a bit of a prototype in hindsight when I look back on it. But the big go they've had it with Astro Bot is it's everything you'd want from a follow up to Playroom. So they're onto something here. I don't know if they can keep doing it, because I think there is a diminishing returns if you keep churning out these types of games. I feel like they've played a lot of their hand already even with Astrobot, but I guess we'll see.
Say that fucking Mario still gets another bash hit every year.
He gets anything though, doesn't he? He could literally have a battle royale and it would be the best thing ever.
Yeah, true.
Even if it wasn't Mario Run on mobile, for goodness sake. He got away with that, and he still lived to tell the tale. I mean, Astro could be something like that, where they actually use him in different genres, because like it came up in the store page, like they did a VR game, based on this before that, and even before that, there was something on the PlayStation I think it was just called the Playroom. And it wasn't Astro Bot, who's become like this character now. It was the little Astro fuckers, though, the little bots. They were just nameless, and you were just fucking about with the camera, the PlayStation camera, I think I had for a while and whatnot. So he's been lurking for a while, these little bot bastards, but they could do some diverse different games of them and whatnot. And they've chucked out a bit of free DLC for Astro Bot. The speedrun levels have been added. I've done all those. That's a... It's this, but this is a nice sort of appetizer for what's to come. I guess we'll see what the future holds, but I'm just wary of them overdoing it. Yeah, they get these firms are like, well, you need 4 of those in 4 years, and you're like, that's not what we meant when we said we liked it or loved it. It was.
I think it depends on where they go with like controls and like, because if they do a load more on the in the future on a future console, next gen and stuff like that, where they can expand things, like, I think that would be cool. I don't know what else they could do particularly. Something maybe with a touch sensor with a. I don't know. Who knows?
Don't let him in the room, Sony. Talking about touch sensors. You'll fucking
All
ruin
touch
it.
screen.
Yeah, fucking hell. We'll see. So we've got Astro's Playroom here. We've got the gallery that's always open, regardless of games are free or as long as they're 1.0,
Yeah.
which this clearly was. Is it going in the gallery or is it going in that self-storage to keep company of other toilet that we found throughout the years?
Chucked it in that fucking self-storage. Yeah, it goes in my gallery for sure, yeah.
The gallery. So you got platinum, gold, silver, or a bronze for Astro's Playroom.
Yeah, so I am going to stick this in gold.
Yeah. I think that's where I put it.
Oh, did you? I
Me
didn't
and
know you.
Atkins both put it in there, in fact, because
Yeah.
it just ticks all the boxes, doesn't it?
Yeah, in every way. I mean, it's 4 hours and it's not an epic story or anything like that that would probably get it into platinum, but it does, in my view, very little, if anything, wrong, and pretty much everything right. It's the right length. It's
Yep.
nostalgic. It does everything. So yeah, I had a good time. So yeah, I may still go back to it and clean a few bits up, but thoroughly enjoyed my time.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Astro's Playroom earns itself a gold in 2024. I'm sure Logan will return in a few months, maybe. This is now the new gap for people. It's going to keep them.
Yeah.
They're like, is he going to do it in January? Well, January's edition. We don't know. You got to stay tuned, you dopey bastards. So I set on a few surprises for you.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go with this and see what happens. It's sort of award ceremony, game of the year type of season as we come into December.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of topics I wanted to pick your brain about.
Right.
So we've got the Golden Joysticks, which is the fan-voted awards ceremony. It's been done already,
Yeah.
so you haven't got to worry about that. I don't know why it was being published in November again. These bizarre things that these places do. Games Radar control the Golden Joysticks. It's the longest-running gaming awards ceremony, going back to the 80s.
Right.
And why Games Radar can't just pull their heads out of their asses and do it in January, I don't know. But it is what it is. And this is, like I say, this is the fan voted one. So there is a critics award in there, but the main bulk, in fact, all the other categories are fan voted online. So you kind of wonder what will bubble to the top sometimes. I remember the year, I think when Resident Evil Village come out, that one, everyone was a bit like, well, I'm not sure that should be winning it. But I kind of quite like that about it, that there is an element of a wild card.
Yeah.
So let's read off what won. Best indie game, Balatro. Now, have you played or sniffed at this Balatro? It's like a card game. It's on console. It's on mobile now for free. Been hugely hyped up. No one put it in the gaming draft, obviously, but
No, I've not seen or heard anything about it.
fair enough. Best indie game. So this one's got self-published in brackets. So clearly they know that something that's awry there when they say Balatro's an indie game when it's got a publisher attached to it, but whatever. Another Crab's Treasure, it's called, never heard of it. PC Game of the Year, Satisfactory. Not heard of that, but there you go. Console Game of the Year, Helldivers 2. Took the Tetler.
What?
He's not happy with it.
Fuck, Mark. Okay. I mean, I don't know if I am or not. I mean, when I'm now thinking about it, I'm like, well,
There was a 2-month, maybe longer period where there was nothing else but Helldivers being put in anyone's game, console, or PC.
yeah, it just feels weird that because I don't know. I mean, there's better games,
Possibly.
but
But
in
did something
terms
connect
of
on that level? Like it was.
yeah, but in terms of like popularity and
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't. No one expected it to get to the level
No.
it did. Not even they expected it. So
That's why I couldn't play it for 2 weeks.
it was the right game for a lot of people at the right time when there was a. I think, to be fair, the biggest problem is there's been a bit of a dearth, I would say, of like multiplayer games. because Warzone's sort of come down a bit, Fortnite sort of tailing off a little bit. Like, there's not been a lot to pick up with your mates, I don't think, comparatively speaking to previous years. And I think that filled a gap for a lot of people for a significant period of time. But I think it was the concern that you and I and probably others had, which was longevity.
Yeah.
Because of the good things about it was that you could come into that, pick stuff up and just sort of go. It was good, but it also meant there was no reason to continue grinding.
Yeah. Once I got the platinum, I was almost like the next day, I was like, oh, I'm done now. But that was 100 hours.
Yeah.
So that's enough, really, for 30 quid or whatever it was. I don't know, I find it's weird how playing a game for 2.5 months for 100 hours is like not enough now. It's like, well, why are we not playing it 10 months later? I'm like, I'm not sure, other than like Call of Duty, back in the day I'm talking, like things stuck that long. Most multiplayer games you would play for a little while after launch and then it would tail off. Whereas nowadays, it's like, unless it's alive for multiple years, people go, oh, that's a bit of a failure now. I'm not sure I like that. It
definitely wasn't a failure. I think it was just...
Well, even you were like, oh, pulled a funny face at it when I announced it because it's got that stink on it because no one's playing it anymore.
Well, no, it's because there was more to it than that. Not that it was fundamentally bad, but there was a lot of problems with that game. There was always a lot of bugs, pun intended.
Yeah. Even on the robot levels.
It was never a kind of perfect game.
No.
Despite it being fun. I mean, and I think maybe that's just the judge. It was fun while we played it. And then, the shelf life ran out. As you say, we played it a lot. It wasn't, I think I played it less than you, maybe 40, 50 odd hours, I think, something like that, perhaps. Yeah. But it's like, again, you sort of turn your nose up it, but it had nothing else. So when you're talking about...
Metaphor's barely 50 hours.
No, but what I'm saying is if you buy an online game
it's
like
longer
that...
than 50 hours. I'm 60 into it and I'm still... I mean, it might break 100 hours at this rate, the slowness I'm going at.
If I was to
That's another reason why it's monthly. If I get one of these RPGs fucking started, I'm gone for 3 months. I can't even produce anything.
This is a rabbit hole that you've only gone down, I'd say, this year. Or maybe last year it was,
yeah.
It's a relatively recent rabbit hole. But yeah, I just think if you've got a game that is basically an online game, like, how long did I play it? Oh shit, 78 hours.
Oh, there we go.
Longer than I thought.
I mean, 20 of those hours was probably in the first week or so waiting for servers to open up. But
well, yeah, I mean, queuing and stuff. I mean, look, largely it was enjoyable. But I guess the reason I judge that is if you get Call of Duty, there's other stuff. There's a campaign, there's zombies, or there's Warzone, or there's multiplayer, there's ranked. There's all these things that
70 odd quid at the fucking shops, though.
Yeah. And then this is literally online. So if there's nothing else to do unless you're queuing for it. So it just feels like there should be some longevity to a game that... Yeah, but there was longevity to that.
Well, and they bought a second one out, and that's like... Well, actually, I don't think it is, but none of us play it anymore. Nothing can last forever, though.
No.
Unless it's Call of Duty, it seems.
Well, that shouldn't.
Or Fortnite.
And that shouldn't. That should die. That's something that keeps... That's like a fucking corpse that's on life support that just won't fuck off. Like, literally, it is Joe Biden incarnate.
Ain't Bill Clinton in this fucking game, this newest one?
Yeah.
So he might be in the next one, Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
Nicking keys out of his pockets or whatever.
Nicking keys.
I hear things through the grapevine.
You know about that?
I hear things.
Nicking Bill Clinton's keys. Yeah, so I just think I'd have liked to... I would have thought if that lasted 6 months, but then we blasted it so heavy.
It was so intense, like it was silly. Like the amount of the hours per period was really quite a lot. And
yeah.
I think
It was almost daily. It was daily.
It was
for a
daily.
period of time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But still interesting that's just weird that that's the best console game of the year. But then I'm like, what else mainstream, if you like, that would have dragged people in is better? And I genuinely at the moment can't. I mean, it also doesn't help that I played that on PC, not console, so I'm struggling with that. Whereas you did it on console. Mine was on Steam. Yeah. No, I can't think of anything. I mean, there you go.
Critics' Choice Awards. This is the critic one. I don't know who's on the panel. Didn't bother looking. Don't care. Helldivers 2. So it picked up 2 sort of the year awards. One from the console space, which was fan voted, then one for the critics. Best early access game, since that's now becoming more prominent in this fantasy gaming league. People not cheating the system because I've allowed it, but they're putting them in. Lethal Company. Never heard of it. We'll take a look for sure.
Oh, this is yeah. This is like a
It's not that fucking card game we've been playing. What's that called?
Liar's Bar.
Liar's Bar. We'll talk about it in a second. I've got
Yeah.
a question to ask you about that. But you've heard of Lethal Company though?
I have, yeah. I have seen
fair
a few. I've seen a few people playing in it. It looks like some sort of strange survival style game. I don't know if I'd associate that with you, but I don't know enough about it. So I'd be intrigued if that is something on your radar.
Oh, the trouble is they're dime a dozen, those sort of games. So it's really finding the right one.
For some reason, it's
early
in my
access. I won't
mind.
look at it. I refuse to even get.
What's that fucking Among Us?
Yeah,
I think it's like an Among Us-y style game, but I don't know. Everything I've seen, everyone's modded it as well, so I don't really fully understand what it's about. But interesting that you're now sniffing because it's best early access.
Wow.
I haven't actually played it, so fuck
No.
knows. One critic review on Open Critic, by the way.
Yeah.
Someone's reviewed that. Thumb Culture. 5 out of 5. Why are they using that scale?
Streamer's Choice Award.
Yeah.
So this might be one you've heard. I'll be interested in making sure the streamer person that is out there looking at Mac or whoever their names are. Chained Together. Have you seen that on your travels?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
explain this one to me.
I would fucking love to play this with you because this might be what actually would tip you over the edge with me. No, not me. There's something even better than you playing this with me, and it would be you playing it with James. That would be you streaming this game, playing it with James would literally be like it would make my fucking year, like, undoubtedly. So basically, it's.
So we're chained together, I take it.
Yeah, so you're chained together. You're two people. You're chained together. What was that game where you had to go up? It was probably called Up, but I can't remember.
What,
you had
the
to get
little
to the top.
cooking thing?
No, it's like one of those, but there was one where you had to go, you sort of had to jump and get yourself all the way up and walk across stuff. It was really popular for a while. Anyway, it's like that, but you're chained together and you both have to time what you're doing to get over and around obstacles.
Right.
And if you get hit or one of you falls off, it basically drags you all the way down and you have to go up again. So
interesting. Okay.
It does look really, really good fun, but it also looks like a friendship breaker.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
I'll take a look into that. That's interesting. See, look, Streamer's Choice Award. That's your jam. You know everything about these games and early access to it. And you got Ultimate Game of the Year. So this is the title one because they have all these different like subcategories, I guess. I didn't see this one coming, but Black Myth Wukong.
Okay.
I do wonder whether it's because it's a Chinese game. I'm not saying it doesn't deserve to be up there. I was just a bit surprised because I've heard like great things. I've heard it's okay kind of things. And I wonder whether a game coming out of China, whether there's, and this is a public vote, whether there's a bit of a swell of support coming from that part of the world.
What you're saying, there's 2 billion Chinese people.
Well, you've got to get a few of them to do it, haven't you, percentage-wise, and then it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to win that. So
basically sheer numbers has
on the day. No, but this is not a
I know
bad
what
game.
you
Like,
mean.
Biff's been
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
this actually. He's set to stop, so it might be coming up on a future edition in the bin pile. Because I don't know if he's going to go back to it, but he was really enjoying what he was playing. And to be honest, I have been considering adding this to the roadmap as it is.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's had good critical reception.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of people have enjoyed it. So
yeah.
it's not like a shit game that's just somehow come out of the woodwork. I don't know what it scored. I think it was in the 80s, wasn't it? On OpenCritic?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very respectable. That's all you're after these days. So yeah, Black Myth Wukong won I guess that's the headline award, so that's good for that. The Game Awards, all the nominees have been announced. The actual award ceremony will be a week or so after this proof of concept episode monthly goes live. Most nominations were Astrobot and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
And third place was Metaphor ReFantazio. So those are the top three in terms of just sheer nominations. Game of the Year, though, this is the one that people get really stressed about. There's 6 of them. You've got Astrobot.
Yeah.
Bellatro's back again.
Wow.
Black Myth Wukong from Game Science. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
Metaphor ReFantazio.
Yeah.
And finally, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC.
Making its way in.
And that's the big... Well, it is, apparently. And that's the thing I want to stick on.
Yeah.
Is that really acceptable? And this isn't a...
Yeah.
This is it's connected to Elden Ring in that you can't play Shadow of the Erd Tree without Elden Ring. It's not one of these standalone spin-offs. It's not like, Uncharted did it, didn't they? They had a little 10-hour excursion, but you didn't have to have the original. This is tied into the base game. You have to have that. You have to also have played probably 50-60% of the base game, and if you've completed the game and not saved before that point, you've then got to redo it and access it. It's one of those weird things to access. So for Game of the Year, bring on the Game Awards is probably the highest profile one. I disagree that it's the most prestigious, because it's simply not. It's a media award at the end of the day, so can they be trusted, all those Burks that sit on the panel? Clearly not when this is getting in. But it's definitely the most high profile in terms of if the BBC are going to report on anything other than the BAFTAs, because it's British, it'll be this. And if ever it's going to get into any other circles, it'll be the Game Awards. And yet you got DLC sitting on there. What's your thoughts? I mean, is this everything we talk about on this podcast is storm and teacup? It don't matter. World's going to get blown up soon with nukes. So it isn't going to matter. But for the sake of this being an enthusiast podcast, agree or disagree with this approach? Because there's plenty of other games you could have chosen from, I believe. You spoke about one of them.
I kind of feel like it should be... I don't think there should be a hard and fast rule, but I don't feel comfortable with DLC as a whole being allowed. But I suppose it has to get through a certain filter before it gets to this point, right? Like there's obviously some sort of nomination process that allows it to get there. So there's got to be a critical mass of enjoyment before it gets nominated.
But anything from Software will it'll always breach the minimum.
Yeah.
So you know that.
I kind of feel like if I made a game and it got kicked out for some DLC, I think I'd be a bit miffed. Because it's not a game.
No, yeah.
I know that sounds weird because it is.
The argument is that it's so big and vast that it could be a game. But it could, but it's not positioned or sold or in any way distributed that way, which to me immediately disqualifies it. It doesn't matter how fucking grand it is. It could be a sequel, but it's not. You have to own that original, then buy this, then travel through the game, jumping through 16 different hoops to access the bastard. If it was on its own, I'd go, yep, fine. That's a game. It's a standalone. I don't be liking this DLC getting in. Ban it.
It doesn't. I'm not like fundamentally against the idea, but I think there should be some criteria, like you've just alluded to. I'm trying to think of a good example to that, but I can't off the top of my head. But it's basically DLCs, in my view. I kind of split them up as well into I think there's a difference between DLC as a whole and expansions. Like,
Yeah.
and I would put this into an expansion. And I don't think it's right to put an expansion of an existing game in on its own right. Does that make sense? Does that?
Yeah, it does.
Might be some
Unless
convoluted logic, but
no, yeah, because you can't call. I'm trying to think the
without the one that
Uncharted-
come before it, this don't exist. Like without that being played and completed and done to a certain point, you can't play this, which means I find it hard to judge it. I don't see how you can sort of judge it as a game in its own right. Like it's the Game Awards. It's like it's not a. It's fundamentally not a game in its own right, is it?
No.
Elden Ring is a game.
Elden Ring is what is going on with this fucking thing? I'm trying to find that bloody right. I'm gonna fucking break this in a minute. Legacy of Thieves. That's what I wanted to get to. Uncharted.
Yeah.
Legacy of Thieves. Yeah. No, that's the newest one. You fucking prick.
It's
the Lost Legacy. The Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was standalone. You could. I think actually, if you had Uncharted 4 and bought the season pass back in the day, you got it included. But it was in the end they made it so grand that they decided to release it standalone. That to me, and again, I'm not comparing quality or saying it does or doesn't, but by the letter of the law, that I'd allow and go, yep, you distributed that separately. Not that I would recommend anyone plays, the Lost Legacy without playing Uncharted 4, but you can, and that's the difference. It was released as its own standalone thing, and people went out there and bought it, and there was no requirement to have Uncharted 4. Whereas, going back to your point, Shadow of the Urchi is big enough to be an expansion rather than like a bit of fucking armor or a skin. Like it's its own. Yeah. I think it's fair to call it that, but it still requires the base game, which I think should disqualify it from Game of the Year in particular. Now, if you want to put Elden Ring in the best evolving game category or the ongoing game category, whatever that's called, for like live service games, I'm fine. If you say, this game's still going, it's got its own big expansion, I'd be like, okay, because I think Cyberpunk ended up in there one year when it released its expansion. And even on the Elden Ring's website, Bandai Namco, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, they call it itself. They're not even using the expansion term. Anyway, I think it's cut and dry. I know there's a lot of defenders saying, well, if it's good enough, it goes in. It's like, but it's not the spirit of what Game of the Year is.
Yeah.
You can't get it without the turt. Well, not the turt, the highest rated game in the last 5 years, the third coming of Christ, but
Yeah. I just think it's a bit of a shit on as well to people that have actually made new games to kind of put an expansion or whatever it is on it, because I think that I do in my head, there could be downloadable content that's associated with that game, and you've kind of lost the word in expansion, like expansion packs and things like that. Like they don't tend to call them that anymore, but I still associate single player games or whatever with having expansion packs. And I don't think an expansion should be deemed a game in its own right for judgment.
No. It's interesting. The last one I played of these, like that, it's probably not the same as scope, but was big enough, was that Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores.
Yeah.
It'd be like that being included on here. I mean, well, absolutely not. But interestingly, again, in the description on the store on PlayStation, the Burning Shores DLC contains, I think it's underselling it. Because to me, DLC is that small skin, or it's a it's something.
Maybe there's some reason they don't want to call it an expansion. Because
probably got their fingers burnt by some fucking
legal
red tape somewhere, and then well, we can't be using that anymore. You got to call it DLC. Or maybe it's just
there's some
categorise things that you can only download. Like it's never going to get a retail release. So
fuck knows, I don't know.
Yeah,
but don't like it. I think I'm with you in your camp on that. Again, it's not like people go, well, what else then? It's like, well, anything.
Well, let's have a look.
Really?
Let's reel off. Let's use our favourite platform, OpenCritic. Do 2024 highest rated games. Astrobot sits at the top. Elden Ring DLC is second. DLC to Vampire Survivors is third. Metaphor's there. Final Fantasy VII's there. Bellatro's there. Final Shape, that's missed out. That's an expansion for good reason. Satisfactory lurking.
Yeah.
Tekken 8, that's been binned because it came out in January. Everyone's forgotten about it. I'm not going to say The Last of Us 2 Remastered should necessarily be there, but that's one of them. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, again, come out in January. Everyone's forgotten about it. You had other games like Animal Well, which were like small, really highly rated games. There's plenty on there people could have gone with.
Last of Us Part 2 Remastered.
Well, then people have a problem with that, don't they? If the remasters make it, and yet they're happy for DLC. Anyway, like I said, it's not going to fucking fix the earth, and it's not going to. It don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but in the context of this hour and a bit change conversation, it means something, unfortunately. But I would agree with just there's plenty of games that could have fitted that bill. Fucking Helldivers, chuck that in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
give them a pat on the back. Small studio, great success.
Backed by
Gets
Sony.
binned off. Yeah, I know, but how much and to what extent? In the end, probably a fair bit, but at the start, probably not a lot.
No.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't like that. It just doesn't. I think the main thing for me is that the spirit? That's the word that you use. Is it in the spirit of the awards? And it's like it's obviously not. So
just fuck
them off.
I knew it was going to happen because days before they were announced, it popped up somewhere that DLC was allowed, and I think it had actually been there. I don't think it's been changed for this year. I don't believe that's the case, although I'm happy to be correct. I think that's just been there for ages, but there's never been an instance where the fucking third coming of Christ's little brothers come along and they're going to drop that out, that it's going to be a problem, and now it's reared its ugly head. So just tighten up, amongst other things, doing the fucking thing in December, which it's better than November, but it's still not January, is it? We want to be the Oscars. We'll do them in February, not the Oscars then.
I don't know why they need to do it in November. It's really weird, like just cutting off everything that might come out. Like,
well, we've got Indie coming late this year. We've got Indie coming in December. Indiana Jones.
You basically
that might be the
lose 2
absolute
months.
titler.
You basically lose 2 months because everything in November ain't going to get any time, is it? So,
no. I want 1 year for what's happened is that in December, the next Zelda game comes out and the next From Software game comes out. That's the only way this cunt will fucking change it. You'll have to.
You've said this before, basically force his hand.
Yeah, it's going to require some sort of, I don't know, some sort of get together by those two particular studios and publishers and say, look, let's just fucking sting this bastard. Put him out on both on the 12th of December and then see what he does.
To be fair, it would be interesting if they did something like that, because there's no way they could just ignore it.
No.
Like, you just couldn't.
It wouldn't matter if they didn't call it Game of the Year. You could correct it by just calling it some sort of award.
The Annual Game Awards.
Yeah. Well, does annual mean calendar year always, or can that just
annual
mean
means
12?
Yearly?
Yeah, that would work better than Game of the Year.
If you said we're going on our annual holiday, you go, well, you're just going on your your holiday for the year. Yeah, it doesn't.
True.
So they've done it by themselves.
Do they do the Premier League season 2024-2025, Game of the Year 2024/2025? Sting people.
November to November.
Yeah. Teach them a lesson. Other quick fact on this: those 6 that we reeled off, 3 of them not available on Xbox.
I mean, they're not going for good games, though, are they? So it don't matter.
What do you mean? I don't
know what they're going for. They've lost
everywhere.
They're not. By doing everywhere, they're getting nowhere.
This is an Xbox. This phone.
It's honestly, I mean, Phil looks ill. It looks like it's getting to him. I think the whole thing is just
that picture. It must have just. I don't know if that was even real, but I couldn't believe. But the thing is, he looked like he'd lost weight. So normally, you look well. Yeah, but he didn't.
I can almost guarantee you, someone should ask him if he's on a Ozempic, because people that have been on it, they don't look like they've lost it like naturally.
What's that? The tablets?
No, it's this injection.
Oh, okay.
So you get, it's called Wegovy or something over here. But yeah, so you get these like basically like appetite inhibitors, but you drop weight really quickly, and you get like this really gaunt face.
Right.
Which is why I think if he's done it, I think he's done something like that. It's really popular in the US as well.
Well, I did say probably a year ago that he was looking a bit musky, where he'd packed on a little bit. He was looking a bit sort of Elon, sort of Android-like, and I wasn't happy with that. So he seemingly reverted, but
he's tried to do something. But as you say, it might just be a particularly bad picture that's been caught in the wrong light at the wrong time. But I was like, good Lord, Phil, the pressure's taken its toll.
I thought it was going to be all happy days once Activision closed. That was it. But
well, can you imagine the pressure that he's under when they've just spent 42 billion or whatever it was? They go,
70,
get this right.
69 bill.
That's it, yeah. It's just more than what Elon paid for Twitter.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it makes a lot of money, but
it's a phenomenal amount of money to spend. So then when you're trying to generate some return from that, they go, come on, Phil, what are you doing? You go, well, how am I supposed to make that money back? Must be absolute pressure cooker stuff. But he ain't getting any. Honestly, I don't know what this Xbox is doing now. I'm really confused by it as a proposition.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I mean, this last year they've really muddied all waters, that whether it's to do with where the games are going to eventually go. So it's like, well, these games are going to end up on PlayStation. Then Phil goes, there's no red lines. Anything could appear there. And I'm like, okay, you're seeding a certain position there that people will maybe go over there. Then you've got this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, we're everywhere, we do this, we do that, we do the other. And then even Game Pass, which used to be a really simple proposition.
Yeah.
Day one, first party titles, anyone can understand that. And now it's like, well, it's only on this tier. And actually, it's only on this tier if you're on PC. If you're on console, you've got to have that tier.
Yeah.
Well, then Game Pass's identity is then gone. That easy bumper sticker advert
this
gone.
Is what genuine, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
Like £120 a year or something we're looking at now. And I don't know for what. Like, this is the problem. It's like it's just like a fucking lottery of. Well, yeah, this is the point. I'm paying £120 for a £70 game. I don't get the value proposition of Microsoft and Xbox at the moment. I'm fundamentally confused by it. I don't know what to do with it.
It's got all your Rocket League data on it.
Well, I could pull that.
Oh, right.
I'll say that's not a problem. It would be a problem. But it's like all integrated with Epic. So I could have it on this PC if I wanted to. But this is what I mean, obviously the proposition has been muddied by the PC being here for sure, because it's like, well, what?
Keep forgetting
it's
you've got
easier.
that thing. You've had it about a year now, haven't you?
Probably, yes. I don't. I think I've had the PlayStation 3 years, so I've probably had this longer than that now.
Yeah.
But it's just there is still a value in the plug and play nature of it that I still like. Like, you just switch it on and it's there, and you pick up a controller and you're in a game quite quickly. But I'm thinking like long term.
Yeah.
Like, if whatever happens with the next gen, I'm like, why would I get that? Why? Well, not just me, but why would others? Like, what is the no-brainer about it anymore?
Yeah, I think it depends. Like, there's still, I think from the Xbox One onwards, there was really a. I don't know if you thought about it. I don't know the reason why you'd necessarily get an Xbox One, but then you've got the likes of Pee-wee, Cop, fucking who else runs in that group? But they all just get the next Xbox regardless.
Yeah,
like, there are people that are in that camp that will always just get it out of inertia. So but then I always think, how then do Xbox ever get the PlayStation people over when those type of people, there's probably tenfold on PlayStation, who you're never going to get. So when he says the console market's not growing, I'll say, well, you might be true, but I think you're seeding people, whereas Sony's market share seems to just grow.
Well, they're making...
Your business ain't growing, Phil.
Even this. They're doing things that attract, that like you would go, oh, that controller looks good, I might give that a go this year. Or, like they're doing I mean, they're not getting everything right. I mean, I literally logged on there earlier and I forgot they'd done that fucking mess with PS Plus still. And I was like, what is all of this? It is, I'm not saying they're getting everything right,
No,
but
no, far from it.
like, it feels like Microsoft have definitely got. I mean, they're obviously committed to it. Otherwise, why buy? I mean, it wouldn't be the only reason. Why buy ActiBliz? But I'm just really confused by the strategy over there and the fact that they're not making good games anymore. Really,
Blop 6, highest rated since last year.
I mean, I'm not gonna. That's for another time.
All right,
but
you need to get that campaign done.
That's why it's for another time. It tells you something about it. I've already messaged you privately about it, going, what are we doing? But it's just, at its core, it seems like a better version than some of the stuff they've chucked out. But I still just, I do genuinely, and it's more broadly, I've got a real fucking big problem with yearly releases of games. Like, Call of Duty's, FIFA's, Football Manager's, F1 game. Like, these yearly releases that are not doing anything are really starting to fucking grate on me as I get older. Because there used to be progression. But we've reached a saturation point. Like, genuinely have reached this point where it's like, how much further can we take this each year? Like, if you go back to FIFA 92... and then look at that to FIFA 2000, right? That 8-year period for some reason, or whatever it used to be, 1990, there was probably a version. If you look at that 10-year period between 1990 and 2000, and then do the same from 2000 to 2010, if you go from 2010 to 2020, or even 2015 to now, like if you take that, like the leaps in those periods are so small comparatively. That I just don't know why people are letting them get away with it.
Wow.
It's mad. Like, if you go back and play FIFA 2018 and play FIFA 24 or 25, like 7 years worth of releases, you go, what have we been doing?
Changing the kits.
Yeah, and the squad lineups and a few tweaks to faces and mechanics.
Well, as we know, this is... Eventually, it's caught up with the likes of Sports Interactive and Football Manager, who end up getting delayed. Ran out of steam.
How's it getting delayed?
Ran out of steam trying to do something too big. Didn't have the time.
Fucking nonsense. Honestly, it is infuriating. Even Football Manager does not and hasn't deserved a yearly release for a while.
Yeah.
Like, iteratively, there's been so few changes that it doesn't make any sense.
F1 Manager, this is dead now. Couldn't sustain the yearly releases, so that's it now. This year's one's the last one.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's gone.
There's obviously a fact that you've got to pay people's wages each year, and they need to get some money back. But someone like EA, it is just a fucking money grab, and people need to stop fucking paying for it. Honestly, I need to start some sort of campaign or petition or something to say, don't buy this shit every year.
They won't, because half of those fucking kids want them, not realising what they're enabling.
Or we'll get their parents on the petition and go, look, don't fucking do it.
Knock it off.
Anyway, I've gone on a mini rant there, but you get the point.
Last thing, what's this card game called? Again, Liar's Bar.
Liar's Bar, yeah.
Won't talk about it, because maybe another time, because I don't know if you've even played it since you last went on it.
I have. I've played it a couple of times, but not a lot. I mean... What's my playtime on this game? 48 minutes. So,
for those that don't know, it's a card game. It's an online card game that you play. You pick an avatar. You sit at this desk, and I can't remember the exact rules of the card game, but it's basically a bluffing game of like how many queens or kings or aces am I putting down. Yeah. Each character's got a revolver next to them, 6 chambers, 1 bullet, and it's kind of like Russian roulette. Like if you get called on a bluff. You pull the trigger. It's random whether you get shot or not. Depending on the game's obviously decided how close you are to losing and that bullet firing off. And also, if you call someone's bluff and they weren't bluffing, you then got to pull the trigger, and it's the last person sitting at the table. Yeah, it's bizarre, but that's not what I want to talk about. Right. True or false that you already had the game, was gifted it, and then accepted the gift still? I'm hearing rumours that
Oh,
he took £6 out of Hall's pocket unnecessarily. Because he tried to gift it to me and I declined it as I don't want that. In the nicest possible way, and it refunded his money to him. But,
I didn't buy it.
okay.
No, I
He's
genuinely
spreading
have no-
rumours then.
I literally, he went, I've bought you a game, we're going to play it. And I was like, all right. So I just went and accepted it and downloaded it. I mean, I didn't really think too much. I assumed it wasn't dear, otherwise you wouldn't have bought it for me.
No, it wasn't. I think it's £7.
So, but I was just like, right, okay. And he was like, Apps is playing it as well. So I was like, Jesus, right, okay, well, I'll jump onto it. And then,
lie.
so yeah, I didn't have it. I accepted the gift and downloaded it. I don't know where that's come from.
Well, there's rumours flying around, but that's it.
Well, quash them rumours. But yeah, played 48 minutes, so probably not an ideal. Can't review it in full, but what I would say is from the couple of games I've played, it's good fun.
Yeah. We'll see if it gets any more traction. Right, that's it. You're off for a month now.
Feet up for the boy.
So, other thing,
yes,
we'll see what happens with Call of Duty. We'll try and get that in sometime early next year.
Yeah.
There was a list of games you gave me ages ago about like Beat Cop.
Yeah.
Which I think you said needed multiple playthroughs. I don't know if that got.
Yep. So Beat Cop is still installed. I've got Espresso Tycoon.
That's it. Yeah.
That's getting played. I haven't booted that up for a couple of weeks though. And
just trying to give these fucks an appetizer of what might come. But there's every chance that he never goes back to them, so don't hang your hat on these. Oh yeah.
So I'm, as usual, the problem isn't. So I downloaded and installed Deadlock about a month ago, right?
Yeah.
And then because Hall was like, "Oh, we're playing it," so I was like, "Fine, I'll wait for the usual coordination." No coordination cropped up. I was like, well, when are you fucks playing this then? And as usual, it's Sunday night about 2:00 in the morning, which is just not fucking viable. But I'm basically trying to get up Hall's
goat to play
on Hall's case to play it a bit, because that is an interesting. I've done the tutorial and I've done one game with Dave and Hall to try and get a bit of a taster for it, and it's actually got more to it than I originally thought in terms of complexity, which is quite interesting. So it's kind of like, I would say it's Overwatch with an added layer or an added layer or two on top of it, which is interesting because Overwatch is like basically you defend a point or you get a point, whereas this is multiple points or multiple things, and there's different stages to the game. So that's another thing that I want to kind of get into a little bit and understand. But that is also early release, I believe, at the moment.
Yeah.
So not one for you, but still an interesting one nonetheless.
We'll see. We'll keep track of those, and I've got them written down, and I'll be checking in to see what's going on, and we'll get you back as and when required. But that's it. Segment part of the Idle Game Chat for December 2024 done. Got a little bit more. Adkins has got a fucking... How many games has he sent me here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 12 games to talk through.
What?
So that's what people have got coming up to close out. I think it's going to close out this episode. I shouldn't tell people that because I don't know what the plan is. So otherwise you have to commit to it, didn't you? I've said it now.
This is the thing now when you're doing this and company all together.
I ain't going to fucking bother. I'm just going to let them look at the timestamps. They can work it out themselves.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I like it.
So that's what's coming next, and that'll probably close out the episode, and that'll be it. Proof of concept done for monthly Idle Game Chat, December 2024. We'll be back first Tuesday of January, which I think actually is a disaster because I think it falls on the 7th. So there you go. That's your next fix. Although we should have all the quiz and the results show and the draft. I think that's still going to be separate, subject to change, but it doesn't make sense bundling that into a January episode to me because people want to hear that shit over the festive period. So that's the plan. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Logan. I'm sure we'll be back in the near future. So cheers.
Yep. No worries.
It's Mr. Apps and Mr. Adkins. Not the Comedy Brothers. That's Paper and Adkins.
That's Paper. I did get
back in
I
business
mentioned it.
together.
Assume you didn't pull that. Downloaded that Pokemon game.
No, is it called Pokemon TGC? Is that
It's
what it's
actually
called?
just a card game where you just
Yeah.
open packs of virtual cards. Luckily, amazingly, it's not cost me any money yet because the kids fucking love it.
Oh,
But it's not as good as Pokemon Go. It's just playing cards.
yeah. Well, it's the trading card game as well. Not.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Have you played any battles on it?
you can play against a computer. Oh no, you can play other people. I've played battles, but only against a computer. I've not played any online boys yet.
Are the rules hard, or is it just like
Not
top
really.
trumps?
It's just you have to each turn you have to you remember you have like health points and then they have like a move, and so you can do that. You have to like build up your little energy card was it? You have to have an energy card to attach to a move.
Right.
And then takes off your health points, and then you can evolve your characters. So it's pretty simple, but yeah, it's just a bit. Yeah.
'Cause back in the day, I had a few of the cards, but never played the game. Like, I don't think anyone ever played the game.
Exactly that. I had a massive binder. Quite probably would have been worth fucking shitloads.
Yeah,
God
it would have
knows
done
where that
now.
went. But yeah, I never played the actual game.
No.
There's proper that people do fucking tournaments for it and stuff, don't they?
I'm pretty sure for the
Real
longest time, I didn't even know there was a game attached to it. I just thought there were just, I don't know, stats or whatever.
That's it. That's all it is. Like top trumps.
Yeah, but no. Well, maybe some more opinions of that inbound. I see it's absolutely ripping it up on the charts and printing money, so a lot of people playing it. So there's a shitload of games here that we've not gone through, and because we've got this new format, they can be gone through. Now, a lot of this would have been relegated to sort of voicemail fodder, which is cruel.
Something we did attempt.
Did it for a while, yeah. There's actually two of them that I've got a voicemail somewhere, but I couldn't. Actually, I could have found them back in WhatsApp, I reckon, but I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that's all right.
We've just got a number of games here. We can do what we want, and then we'll just see what we get. So this is the order you sent it me. So I'm assuming this is some sort of
This is
chronological order of oldest
completion.
to
Was it that list
newest.
I sent?
Yeah.
My list. Yeah, that's from January 1st to
Yeah.
wherever we are now, and that's what's credits have been rolled
Okay.
this year. So there's one on there, a game that's like I played for like 70 hours, which would have been last year, but the credits were rolled this year. So I call it.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like that.
Some of them we have done, so I've done a bit of a job of trying to go through and pick out the ones that haven't been done. So let's start with this one, nice and easy. WWE 2K23.
23, cool. Confusing because I'm currently playing 24.
I saw.
And
I've got the grade in here from the voicemail somehow.
what's right?
Silver.
Silver, yeah. That's
Still
about
hold
right.
up. So what did you do? Just run through the show? Is it a showcase mode?
I went a bit extra actually. Normally that's what I did. What was the one with Stone Cold? Was that 2016?
Yeah, or 2013. One of those two. Is it
One of
16
them.
or 13? Yeah.
Well, that was one of the first showcases I think they did, and I played that. I was like, "Oh, this is good." It reminded me a bit like, well, not really, but that journey mode in FIFA.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. And I really enjoyed that. So then when 23 came out, it was John Cena, was it? Yeah. This one's WrestleMania. So yeah, so I had that. So I ran through that. And I played a little bit of exhibition and farting about and all that. But then after I played through the John Cena thing, it was pretty extensive, you know. Well, I say extensive. It's about a 10-hour campaign thing to get through them, doing all the little challenges you have to do. I then went through another mode. My
story or my...
Yeah,
That's like where you create your own wrestler, male and female stories, and then...
And take them through. I really should have done my research of what it's called. I forget now. There's so many modes on this. You've got My Faction, which that's more of like a sort of fucking Ultimate Team type thing, isn't it? I didn't do that. My Universe? Was it?
No, that's the thing I used to play. My Rise, is that it?
My Rise, that's it. Well done. Yeah, that's the one. So I went through the whole of that and rolled credits on that as well. That's got like a little story that's quite fun. Sort of introduces like all the different groups and stuff. Like there was an option to join showing its age now, Evolution. So it's like bits like that. So you sort of, it's quite fun because you do sort of start them from the ground up. You're in like the old rinky dinks.
Yeah.
They need to stick. They need to get a deal
down the
with
AEW society. Start down there.
Get down there, and it's like
show.
Generic Japanese wrestling company. I can't remember.
Don't
what
call
it's called
Tanahashi that.
How dare you? I can't remember what the company is. I think it is just like New Japan. No, it can't be New Japan. It's something
Japan.
like All Japan Star or something like that. Where it's just supposed to be like this. So I ran through that. So I think I played that for about 35 hours over total. 23. But yeah, I did enjoy it. Like, it was different because I played it not long after AEW.
Yeah.
And obviously we know how that went, AEW. As much as I did enjoy AEW because of the arcadiness of this, going straight into like a proper simulator. I thought that, after a while I'd get bored and I probably wouldn't even get through that. But I was quite amazed at how long I did sort of keep coming back to it and things. So yeah, overall, yeah, I'd say a silver is about right because, like, for the simulator side of it, it's unbeatable, really, isn't it? In terms of wrestling thing. I mean, it's no what's that one you play?
Fire Pro.
Fire Pro. There you go. So you can get your simulation experience in here. Is WWE pretty good for simulation stuff?
To be honest, 2019 seen as like their best version of like a simulator of sorts. But since then, sort of gone a little bit more arcadey, but still in comparison to, like you said, like Fight Forever, it's a different league if you want that. So yeah, I think that there was complaints for like 2022 and 2021. 2020 was the absolute stinker disaster, if you remember.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I don't know if they took a year off now. I can't remember what they did, but the one following,
I feel like they did.
The one they sort of bounced back with, there was some criticism that it feels more like a fighting game rather than a wrestling game.
Right.
It's weird, isn't it? Because wrestling's predetermined, so it's simulating a fight. That doesn't happen.
Right.
So it is a bit of it is a difficult thing, but it's much more slower paced than what Fight Forever was. So it's definitely closer to that. It has a lot of the old boys usually lurking. Although the amount of fucking DLC packs they put out for these things.
I know, they chucked it out. Well, this is the thing that I've been mucking about with the new one, and there's obviously a lot of the core characters that have joined, i.e. CM Punk and all that.
Yeah.
They're all unlocked under DLC. But you've got that one thing that's brilliant about this game is that online creation mode.
All right, yeah.
So you could, like, the community creation. So you just go straight into there, look for superstars, download them all, and then they're pretty good. Obviously, they're not the real McCoy, but people do very good jobs with them. I don't know how they get all that information in there, but full of AEW stars, which is fun. You can literally turn it into a AEW game. But yeah, and I enjoyed my time with it. Pretty enjoyable. Like I say, surprised it stuck as long as it did. Solid silver.
There we go. WWE 2K23 retains it. Next one, Final Fantasy 16.
Cool. So this is the one I mentioned. I reckon I probably played. What number was it on my list? It's got to be like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
I think,
it's at the top. Yeah, it's one of the.
So I think I must have completed it in either January or February. So I played the majority of it last year, and then roll credits. Cool. Incredible. Did I go gold?
Yep.
I did. I was going to say it was on the cusp of a platinum, but I think probably it'll be interesting now because I think, if I recall, the performance was.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about. Like, now we've both got PS5 Pros, which would be news to the dozens of audience members. That was one thing I think it was fine in combat, wasn't it? But when you was exploring outside of combat, it was just mine was jittery and stumbly and.
That's right. And
I noticed, like, when you got on like the chocobos and ran. If you then triggered like a combat zone, you could see the resolution dumping in real time. And when you run past them and then exit it, would like come back to be
back up again. That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, that was really the only thing I had an issue with. I know some of the side quests people didn't like, which I think that by the end of it, I think if you do, I don't know if you did them all,
I think I'm sure I did, yeah, because I made sure I kept, because there was so many. There's
At
a
the
lot
end,
of
it chucks like
repeatable
15
ones.
of you. You like the mission before the end. You're like, why are you? Hang on, it's urgent, isn't it? What's going on over there? And they're like, no, got this going on there. But I felt like the end ones were good, like the back end ones. But I'm one of the first ones you do. You literally go and pick up dirt from somewhere and bring it back. And I was like, what are we doing here?
There was a lot of fetch quests, but yeah, I think I did. I remember making a point to sort of not progress the story until I cleared out every single one of them in that area. And as soon as you get to a new town, I'd be like, oh fuck, here come a plethora of new ones. But yeah, it was. So yeah, I really, it is so hard to fault that game. Setting, characters, gameplay, music's
fucking quality,
fucking incredible. The battle themes, Finch, absolute stellar voice casting. Yeah, Finchy and what was his name? Ben Starr, is it?
Yeah, he was hosting the Golden Joysticks in November.
That's right. Yeah,
wanted a 60 FPS Bloodborne. He said, "Cool,
oh, good boy,
low hanging fruit." Come on, Ben.
So yeah, yeah. I mean, that's.
I thought because you. I don't. What happened? Because I got this at launch, played it, and you were like behind.
Get it.
What was going on?
I was behind. I was going to get it.
So I just knew as soon as you played it, I was like, he's going to fucking love this game. This is like the Adkins game that's been built for him, almost from the ground up.
I didn't either.
With all the combat and like the crazy boss battles and music.
When it come out? Yeah, it was definitely my type of game. For some reason, I didn't. It must have been either I was playing something else, or, which was the bad thing, is had I just finished. I don't know. That would have been years ago. It's what I did with. I played so much of 16 that when Rebirth come out, I think I'd only just finished 16. So I played about 10 hours of Rebirth, and by that point, I was sort of burnt out by
sick of it.
Sick of it, so I sort of put it on hold. I'm now just gone back to Rebirth, the typical Adkins way. So I wondered if I did that, but then no, I did that for Rebirth for the Intergrade. I've not played the PS5 version of Remake. So no, unless it must have been something else, Elden Ring or another big game that got in the way. Yeah. And for some reason I didn't buy it, but that is very unlike me because that would have ticked so many boxes, and then I just remember buying it and going to Smith's, bringing it back, and then not working.
Could it have been the reported like performance issues? Could that have been
possibly? But then I would
annoying him somehow.
Possibly, but normally the only thing with that is like Dragon Dogma 2. I heard that was a bit of a shitter.
Yeah.
So I held off because I knew there was a PS5 Pro coming. Yes. Back then, did we know? We didn't really know.
It wasn't really
no confirmation, did we? No. So that's probably the only reason I wouldn't have bought it. If I knew that there was, if I knew the PS5, so back then I think I bought games. What else did I bought? Another game that I knew had performance issues. Possibly though, but yeah.
Did you play Diablo 4 at launch?
Yes, I did. Yes.
So that came out the 6th of June. Last year. This came out the 22nd, and it's a big old boy, that Diablo.
Right, that is, yeah.
So that may have been a
I put about 50, 60 hours into that.
Didn't stop you buying the game and putting it on the shelf, but
exactly. I think I did. Yes, I think I waited for it to be reduced in price.
Oh, okay, right.
It was. Yeah, it might have been that actually, because I remember. I think I got Diablo for Christmas, and then played that, or whenever it came out, November. When was I can't remember when it was. Anyway, so I played that, and then I think I remember when it first came out, it was like 60 or 70 quid, and I was like, cool, I don't want to pay that. And then I think I picked it up for about 30 or 40, whatever it is. Way to do it. But I did miss out on that thing. On that day one experience. I remember what my last day one was. Well, Astrobot, of course,
yeah. So you were sticking with the gold on that.
So sticking with the gold on there. I mean, I've not actually looked at 16 on that Pro. I don't know if it might even get a patch because there's a PC version that's got all bells and whistles and ray tracing and stuff. So I'd be nice because I'd like to go back and do that. I haven't done the DLC. I assume you haven't either yet.
No, it's one of those things. I think it's one of those DLCs where if you ain't up to scratch, you get arsehole ripped out. So
I've got to say,
I was planning to do another replay anyway and try and like get, because I think you have to do it on the higher difficulty, don't you, to get the platinum?
that's it. Yeah, to do the platinum. Yeah, you got to play it on hard mode.
Because it's not particularly difficult.
No,
Well,
I've got to say, yeah, there was only towards the end the bosses were pretty fucking long, but other than that, yeah, I didn't really struggle, to be fair.
I don't like struggling.
No, that's why.
Chaps, my
Playing that
arse.
fucking. Although where I've got that PS5 Pro, I've been mucking about, saying that, going back to games. Booted up Spider-Man 2, got my arse kicked straight away because you're like out of the scene.
Oh, yeah.
Then went into Demon's Souls, got my arse kicked in there.
Yep.
And Horizon as well.
Horizon was the worst when I played the DLC because it came out like 18 months later, and I was like, "What? How do you even play this?" I was like, maybe the game will ease you into it, and it didn't. It just craps all over you immediately, and I was like, "Bloody hell!"
And then what else did I play? No, that was it. Yeah, and Rebirth as well. Yeah, Rebirth,
Yeah.
that took a bit more. I was like, oh, what the fuck? How do we do this? So yeah, but yeah, so because of the hype of Rebirth on this PS5 Pro, I've not seen anything about 16.
No,
so,
I
yeah.
haven't either, actually.
And I think that eradicated, if I'd played it now in 2024 and it had performance, I think that's
Up there,
could very
yeah.
well be a fucking platinum.
Yeah.
Because it was so good.
The boss battle, I mean, it's just fucking incredible moments.
Yeah, it really is.
Well,
Yeah.
there's no game that does anything close to this. With
Nah.
the production in the boss battles and the music and what's going on. I was like, what am I even playing? Like,
Yeah.
how have they done this?
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Was that? It was almost. No, I suppose FF7 remake was the start of your JRPG.
Yeah, like I mean, that was
it
probably. Trying to think now. I think that was actually.
Yeah, so you've gone through
Really?
that. You went through that 16. Then you
Oh,
started
played
doing all
15 as well.
Oh yes, you did. Yes, sorry. Yeah,
Go
you did
for the
15.
little bro trip.
15, 7 remakes, 16, 3 personas.
Yeah,
Meta-
and now Metaphor.
Metaphor,
Basically a
he's
full
fucking
persona.
balls deep.
That's it now. That's it.
JRPGs or nothing there.
Well, hopefully there won't be loads of them every
year.
year, and like you can't keep playing them.
100 plus each of them.
Dragon Quest 3 remake might give
Oh,
that a fucking. Well, I think they're shorter though. Those older
is
ones
it?
are only like I say only 50 hours.
Oh no, I've got trying to work my way through those fucking Xenoblades. I think they're about 60 to 90 each, and there's like 4 of them.
I think 2's the toughest, they reckon, just because of the side quests. It's like-
Oh, fuck's sake. And I'm
And
trying
you
to
kind
play
of-
it the same as that.
yeah,
The
and you kind of
same
need
as-
to do them to make sure you're not getting stung by
Yeah,
levels later
That's
on.
the thing, yeah. See, one did say you can get stuck by level gate. So, yes, you've got fucking Xenoblade 2, then there's
Yeah.
like a standalone DLC for 2, Torn or something, 3, and now Chronicles X is coming out in
Three's got a
February.
DLC as well, which is supposed to be the absolute.
Oh, fantastic.
Once you've made it through and like you're involved in the story, that's like the ultimate conclusion. So
And the best thing is they're all at 720p,
I know.
running at 30 frames. The real
Will
ring-key
Nintendo
thing-
ever port or allow anything just to go on PC?
I don't know. I don't think
games
they will.
like
I think
that,
they're
just
stubborn.
like-
They're like, that is one of by far the best looking games on them on that Switch.
Yeah.
And
They're
it's
so
like,
good. It's like for that little machine to be doing that, you're like, Christ.
Yeah.
Is it Monolith, isn't it? Is it Monolith?
Monolith, that's it. Yeah.
I think they helped some of the tech in Breath of the Wild, and you're like, yeah, I can see
That's
that.
right. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, they've definitely got that about them, haven't they? But yeah, where was we? JRPGs. Oh yeah. Final Fantasy. Yeah, definitely stick with go with that. Incredible.
Lovely jubbly. Next one, I think we're getting into fresh meat here.
Fresh meat. Boom.
The sensation that everyone seems to forget about or wants to say, oh, wasn't that good? Helldivers 2.
Oh,
It
again,
was that
just
good.
recently jumped back in. It was fucking good, but after playing it now recently, if you ain't got a squad with you, it's boring.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, as soon as I play, I was like, "Oh, this is wicked!" Yeah, I forgot how good this look, how fun it is to fucking pop these fucking aliens and that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, "What was the best parts of this game?" And it was me, you, and fucking Lappers and that running around and just doing shit, fucking bombing each other and stuff. It was really good fun. It is brilliant, but it's almost as if it ran out of legs. Would you agree?
I thought, well, yeah, but then I looked at my hours played of 100 hours. I was like, how many legs does this thing need? Like, I don't know how many you played. Probably close
Not
to
even
50.
enough. I think mine's. What was it? Hold on, it'll be on here.
It'll be on the app.
It's 40, I think it is.
Because I was talking to Logan, and he was like, "Yeah, I only got 30 hours out of it," and then he saw his playtime, and it was 72, and he was like, "Wow."
Oh,
I was like, "Well,
yeah, I'm on 40, but yeah,
Okay.
I did cut out quite a lot. I think you boys got quite high. I only got to like level 22 or 3, something like that. So I'm not even unlocked the mechs yet. So cool. So
those bleeding
yeah,
legs.
so I will jump back in, but I've got to say, yeah, unless the sort of boys are with you, it's
tough to get back into. It's gone now.
I went back in and I was playing the game, and then some random American dude was like, "Hey man, don't extract yet. We got to get super credits." I was like, "Okay." But yeah, it's quite fun. I wish I had like a better bit of a PvE mode or something where I could do some stuff. But it is very enjoyable for what it is. It sort of hit at the right time as well, didn't it? That was pretty good. Yeah, incredible. I recently bought the first one on Steam Deck and played a bit of it whilst I was on holiday, and had a little thing. And I don't really remember. I remember getting the first one on PS Plus. I think that was when the PS4 first came out. I think it was one of the first ever games on PS Plus, and played it, and it was very sort of meh, and sort of forgot about it. And then obviously this come out, and the hype, we jumped straight on it, and was fun. So then going back to the original one, it's amazing how it's literally the same game,
but the perspective's different.
Yeah, perspective's different.
Is it twin stick shooter? Is it?
It's a twin stick shooter, yeah. Instead, but you still the mission structure. You do the same. Yeah. You do it all from the ship, and you have to cool down. You have to do the little button prompts and stuff. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's quite fun. But yeah, no, Helldivers 2. Yeah, it was a sort of tight. You could lose hours in that, and it sort of rekindled that multiplayer life. You know, like of course the last big thing would have been Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And the big meltdown after that. So, and multiplayer's game is definitely not my forte. I very rarely get involved in them these days. So this was something to get us out of the mud, and yeah, it served its purpose well. Very enjoyable. Helldivers 2 gets a silver.
Chucks it in the silver pile.
Yeah.
Oh, well done, Arrowhead. Mm-hmm. Next one. This is a bit of a bizarre one because you've been through it before, but you sped run it. Fallout 3 plus DLCs.
Oh yeah, well I would say I'm speed run it again. I tried to. It was after watching the series.
Right, of course, yeah.
I watched the series and I was like, right, I'm gonna play through the games, and I was like, well, I ain't doing 1 and 2 because they're like, I've got them somewhere in Tactics, but I was like, they're old and. No, I'll just watch them on YouTube and saying, let's go through 3. I've done it in 13 hours last time and run through it. This one, it wasn't even much. I think I only played it for about 25 hours, but still managed to sort of blitz through it. Yeah. I don't know how, because it's such a big game. And
maybe it's big back in the
Yeah, maybe
I feel
it's
like
not.
there's things like Mass Effect, like. If you go back and play that, it's like 25 hours. In my head, it's like 50 to 60 hours, but they weren't like that back then.
No, I think because I recently, a couple of years ago now, I bought that Master Chief. Legendary Master Chief.
He's called it Master Chief on N7 day.
I played through
Did you see Swerve wearing an N7 jacket the other month?
Yes, I did actually. Absolute hero. He also dressed as someone else as well. Tyler, the Creator, he dressed as.
Who's that?
In that green. He's a rapper.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he did. Yeah, was it on? Because that was recently, wasn't it?
Yeah,
N7
I think it was
day.
around the time that N7 day.
Oh boy.
Who knows?
Yeah, so I played that recently, and I remember, and I ran through that. And I think it was only like 18 hours. I think it was. I was like, and I did everything it had. I was like, right. So yeah, so I think with that, I don't know if maybe just because I find like I let over sort of seem to do all the stuff, so got overpowered. So it was just sort of like just gunning through and killing shit.
Did you like explore anything, or did you just go like quest to quest?
I did go through. I went from cycle. I kept trying to find thing. I didn't really go off off the beaten path and just like wander without nowhere to go. Really, unless there was like side quests. But saying that, you do stumble across, like, I remember right near the beginning, there's that little like town that's on its own, or like a little shanty town.
Yeah.
Not Megaton, something else. Like, it's just loads of people in a little segregated town. And when I was there, towards the back end, I think I was just walking. I was fucking walking everywhere. So yeah, I did do a bit of exploring, but you sort of come. I remember that getting into the main city as well. You fucking get stuck quite a bit because you can't sort of go through to one side. You can't literally like go through the middle of the main town.
Oh, they block. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's like there's a lot of block like areas. You have to go through the subway quite a lot.
It's linear after all these years.
Yeah.
They've just exposed them.
Yeah, I'd be interested for you to go back because it hasn't aged great. I've got to be honest.
If you're shooting without that VATS, it's one of the worst combat systems you'll ever come across. VATS saves the day there.
Yeah, VATS is fucking brilliant.
Every game should have VATS.
Yeah. So yeah, but the trouble is, I think unless you do have that nostalgia to it, and like you was well into. Because I remember playing it on the 360, and it never really clicked. And then I think I forced myself and sped run through it, and then this time sort of tried to play it properly. And sort of did enjoy it a bit more, but it's still, I don't know, there's something that don't click with me with that game. But, like, you know, I do understand its sort of cultural sort of presence of how it's almost started. Yeah, well, it was that came out before Skyrim, right?
Yeah, 2008.
Cool shit, yeah. So I get that it sort of, you know, led to the global phenomenon of Skyrim and that sort of Bethesda face. Was that the first one? Would it have been? I suppose Oblivion probably may have been.
Yeah, they did Oblivion. They've done Morrowind before, but like.
Oh, that's true. That was
I think it's fair to say that Fallout 3 was like. Oh,
yeah. This is how big
kind
and
of arrived.
Yeah, and there's some great characters in it. You know, like what's his name? Bob, yeah, Bob.
No, not Bob. Gob. That guy Megaton
Gob.
that sits at the bar all day.
Oh yeah, Bob. What's the ghoul called? Is he just called Ghoul? Ain't he called Bob?
Which ghoul?
They're the main ghoul in 3.
I can't remember now.
Oh,
I want to know is Liam Neeson's your dad.
Liam Neeson's your dad. That's where I was going with that. Liam Neeson, and there's someone else that's quite big in there as well. There's Ron Perlman in it or someone.
He does the war.
Oh, he does the war. That's it. Yeah, that's what I think.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive and ticking.
He's one of those blokes that looks like he might have gone early just because, I don't know, he has that look about him.
He's a weird-looking dude, isn't he?
Biff won't watch Sons of Anarchy because he's in that.
Oh, mate, that series is so good.
I've tried telling him. I was like, I don't know why you're like, I can't stand Ron Perlman. And I was like, yeah, he's about him. He's just in it.
Oh dear! Oh, we should watch that.
I'm going to tell him that Ron Perlman does the voice of Fallout. And go, you can never play that again. Then.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I know he'll say, "It's not his voice; it's his chin. It's too big."
Yeah, it's got a big old chin.
Yeah, it's got a big chin.
But yeah, so the story is good. I remember the story this time. I sort of paid more attention, and
this is the first time you went for the DLCs.
Yes, this is the first thing. So yeah, so that's sort of weird fucking DLC, isn't there? So you had that alien one.
Yeah. Is one of them called Far Harbor? Oh,
it's Far Harbor.
Or is that?
Far Harbor. Or was that? No, that's 4, I think, isn't it? There was one where I was on like a hillbilly island.
Yeah.
Is that Far Harbor? I thought Far Harbor was. Oh, you might be right actually. I swear there's one on 4 as well where you get on a boat and go to.
There's a couple of them like that.
But yeah, whatever the one I played was the one where you go to like a hillbilly sort of swampy place, and there's like a geezer that's in a
Operation
mansion.
Anchorage.
That's it. That's the first one I played.
The Pit.
That's the one. That's where you go to the thing. Yeah, Operation Anchorage.
Steel.
Broken
Point
Steel.
Lookout.
There's
Mothership
one.
Zeta. Fuck me, there's 5 of the bastards.
Yeah, there's 5, and a few of them are quite short. There's ones I've done in like an hour or two.
I think that Operation Anchorage is quite short because it's like showing off like the war between US and China, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah,
it's like a simulation or something. I can't remember
that's right. Yeah, you little simulation, and you play. You're like a Chinese spy. You have to go through. That's it. Yeah, so I play through that. Play through things like a sort of epilogue in it. Broken Steel. That's it. That's
that
the
carries on after the main story. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. So I played that. I think I played that last, and then done the pit and the thing. Yeah, but they're quite fun, sort of bite-sized, smaller versions. Just sort of added story, really, aren't they? They don't sort of add other than the thing made to the main story, but yeah, quite enjoyable. Like I say, it has aged a bit, and I played it on PC, so I was running. I think I started it on the Steam Deck, and then switched over to my PC. I was just playing it in 4K Glory 60.
So was this like the Game of the Year edition? I take, has all the DLC.
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, played it on there, and I think yes, I think I ended up in about 40 hours in the end. I think whether it's on me after all of that, it's on my Steam somewhere.
I remember when I finished the last DLC for it. I think I made a post on whatever social media, and it was like the clock time, and it was like finally done Fallout 3 and all the DLC. And it was like a year after it had come out, and yeah, it wasn't. I remember I saw it like flash up on a memory or something whenever it was a few years ago. And I was like, oh, it'd be like 90 hours, and it wasn't. It was like 50 or something. And I was like, that's weak sauce nowadays. I'll fucking gobble 50 hours up in a couple of weeks.
That's a fucking Telltale game, that is.
It's a weekend game.
Yeah, so, I did enjoy my time with it, bless it, but yeah, aged. So yeah, so overall...
Toilet.
Trash, bronze, nah. I'll go silver for thing. I'll go silver. I did enjoy it and understand it, but I don't have that. Like, it's not one of my favourite ever games. I think I enjoyed 4 more.
I'm the opposite. I think if I go back and play them now, I'd be like, oh yeah, 4 plays better because it does. But 4 was one of those games that I got about 50 hours in, and then I stopped.
Oh, did
for
you?
Like 3 months.
Oh, really? You did an Atkins?
Did a real Atkins, sort of picking up bad habits off you, and then I went back to it and finished it. But yeah, I didn't. I was like,
no. See, that's what I was going to do that. So I did 3 and went through the DLC, and then my next step was good to go into New Vegas.
Oh yeah.
I've not started that yet, but my intention was to do 4 as well. Because I did run through. I put about 45 hours into that and went through the story, but I never touched that settlement stuff. And I know Biff was telling me all about how much he loved it.
Such unnecessary toilet. Oh, a bit of tax. Oh, fuck.
And the DLC as well. I never touched that.
Simps running around out here.
Where's
my dad?
One of the first ever reviews in it is the.
Is it your dad? No, you're looking for your son, aren't you?
Oh, that's it. Yeah, freeze your dad.
First one's freeze your dad.
This one's your son.
What will 5 be?
Yeah, what 5? What's New Vegas?
You know what? I can't even tell you roughly. It's about the control for Vegas, I think.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah, it's like quite faction based, if I remember correctly. It's cool.
Well, that's pretty much like Fallout 3.5, isn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of like, what's it called? The same thing.
Same. Yeah. The shooting's like 1% better because you can zoom in.
Really?
On some of the weapons. I don't think it aims down sights, but you can zoom a little bit.
Cool.
But everything else is based off Fallout 3's engine, Obsidian, sent to do that one.
Oh, that's right.
That's the one they got like 1 Metascore point below what Bethesda set them. They lost a load of bonuses.
Oh dear. But I'm fucking livid about that.
Yeah. And I'm hoping they do. I mean, this is what annoys me now, that it's not Microsoft's fault, it's probably Bethesda's fault, but why ain't there another fault? Why ain't there anything for this franchise?
Well,
even remake those old ones. Do something.
Do something, mate. Well, I reckon now the with the success of the show, I reckon.
Well, you should have been ready to go with that.
Yeah, they should have. Yeah.
All sat there and went, oh, "Fuck, people like this."
Bloody hell.
I've got Starfield DLC to finish. Todd said, "Get him off that."
Get him out. They
Dead that game.
I see a post the other day. It said about how many years it's been since that Elder Scrolls 6 announcement. I think it's 7 years since then, or something like that. Like, fucking hell. Christ. Yeah,
Bizarre.
but yeah, Fallout 3, I'll give it a silver. I know that will shake a lot of people's heads, but
I think with
silver's
2024 lenses, like, I'm surprised it even got that.
Yeah,
it was in a tricky spot, but
I think
that's all right.
Good Fallout hype mood, so it lasted.
Yeah. Next one, I'm very interested to hear. Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Survivors.
Now, have you bought any of the DLC for this, or was this just
No, I
vanilla?
haven't. No, and this is
Concerning.
No, concerning that I haven't bought it because I do need to get back to it. It's quite weird. I want you to play it on. I'd like you to play it on a Steam Deck. It makes my eyes go funny if I play it on a Steam Deck because it's so it's so fast moving and stuff, and all the little fucking like fireworks that go off. I get like blurry vision playing it on a little fucking handheld, and like, so much I literally like can't see by the end of it. So I'm like, oh. I have got glasses. I should wear them more, to be honest.
And he's got glasses.
And he's got glasses. 4 eyes. I'll put them on now for the viewing experience.
The goggle
Some people may say, who's that one that George looks like? There he is.
He's a bookworm.
He's a
2.0.
bookworm. And he's got glasses. So yeah, this was a Steam Deck purchase because it was like on every single list of like top 10 games to play on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And I'd heard stuff about it. Wasn't it up for Game of the Year that year?
It won the BAFTA, I think, and took away the quad from.
Oh, it
Elden
did
Ring.
it from. Was it Elden Ring? Or?
Yeah, Elden Ring was going to take the title.
Oh, that's right.
Fucking snatched it.
It snatched it. I've got to say, for what it is, I've heard there's loads of clones of this now.
Yeah.
But yeah, for what it is, it's fucking so much fun. And I think you have to factor in the price. I think I paid less than £3 for it.
It's so cheap, yeah.
It's so cheap. And it is a very simplistic, like 8-bit game or something. And all it is you're a little character and you have to kill things and collect the gems off them.
Yep.
And then you have to so a level lasts, you have to get to the objective of the game is to last 30 minutes in each stage. And it just gets like throughout them. There's like certain times, so like on the 11th minute, they send in waves and waves, and it just gets progressively harder and harder. And it's almost a bit like a roguelike, is it? I suppose, yeah, because the more you play, you like die, but then you get experience points and you can upgrade your character. I've come to realise I fucking hate those type of games. I was sitting there the other day trying to think of the ones I've played. I fucking hate them. I don't know why.
Hades.
Yes, I really like it, but I just hate the fucking roguelike aspect of it.
That's
I've
the
only
one
done
I've played.
one full run and then realised to complete the game you have to do it 10 times. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
That was heartbreaking. I mean, I did it, but I was like,
yeah. What else have I? So I played that. I did enjoy the Ragnarok. Valhalla, sorry, I did play that, but again, I was just annoyed. What else have I played? I played that. Dead Cells. I only played that for a couple of hours.
It's got Castlevania DLC as well.
It has, hasn't it?
Castlevania lives now is through DLC and other games. Like, what are you doing, Konami?
SIFU's not, is it? No.
No, it's not. I mean, you reset, don't you? And then you age up. And
yeah. Well, maybe.
It's not far off, is
that
it?
mechanic, I fucking hate. I was thinking this the other day. I really want to play Returnal.
Yeah. It's meant to be fucking hard as well.
Exactly, and I know it's difficult. And with that on top, I know it's just... I don't. It's just so disheartening to when you die, especially when you're getting towards that latter stage and you're starting to feel more powered up, and then you're like, right, I'm going to do it this run, and you get fucking like a run. Some on there is probably like about 3 or 4, 5 hours long. You get to that 4th hour mark and then die. You'll be like, oh, for fuck's sake. So but yeah, Vampire Survivors.
There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles roguelike called Splinter's Fate out
Oh,
there.
is that new?
I think it came out this year. Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I heard. I think it came up on like Defining Duke.
Oh.
And I mean, I'm not really a big fan of. I don't mind Turtles, but I won't go and find every bit of thing, like every little bit of content for it. But that was getting bigged up as well. It had like a nice story wrapped around why you kind of it's like that, and I was like, I like it. I like when it's embedded like that. It's like Hades.
Yeah.
It was
That Defining Duke, is that Matty?
Yeah.
Is he all right now? Did you see all that stuff about him?
Yeah.
Did he like accidentally leak his fucking Dragon Age stuff?
Yeah, so essentially, the Cliff Notes version, like he has people that edit like for him his videos.
Oh, right.
And somehow through that channel, he says it's not directly him. I think, well, probably. I don't have a reason to not believe you. Someone in that circle had like either directly leaked it or leaked it to someone they knew, but it ended up in this weird like Twitter accounts.
Probably Brad. New boy on the block.
Racist Brad, because that account was like apparently posting loads of racist shit.
I did see that. Yeah,
and people were like, oh, it's Matty's burner account, and it's like, I don't think that's true. But yeah,
they really tried to jump. It's probably all the fucking kind of funny people that jumped on Colin, probably trying to get Matty cancelled.
Getty's going back for revenge.
Yeah. There was an interview with Colin Moriarty, and he was talking about the whole situation, and he was like trying to say that it was Getty's was the main cunt. Yeah. He was like, yeah, the others I can sort of forgive, but that Tim is a prick. I was like, oh no. Oh, funny. Anyway, so Vampire Survivors. So yeah, fucking, it's brilliant.
Once you've got past the level, cut him off.
Cut me off.
Is that it? You can leave that level in the dust, or have you got to go through that level again to get like if you want to do the full run or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Do you have to go through every stage each time, or once you've cleared one, it's like right, you can go back if you want.
Yeah, you can. No, if you get to the half-hour mark, then if you get to the half hour, it then unlocks another level. So you have to complete all of them. But they do get progressively harder. But then there's also, I think you do have to go back to some levels because then after a certain point, there's things that spawn, like new things that you need to go up and unlock.
So there is like some sort of checkpoint in there. So if you got past stage 1 and you're like, right, I've done stage 1 for half an hour, I want to do stage 2. You can just start at stage 2.
You can go.
Or you can go back if you want. And
you can go back if you want. Yeah. So I think there's about 3 or 4 stages open at the beginning. No, maybe 3. There's a bonus, and then it starts to unlock. I think there's only about 10 in total. There's like bonus stages and stuff. But then there's like about, I can't remember how many. There's about 16 characters that you can choose from, and like some of them are fucking. The ways you have to unlock them, there's like ridiculous. I had to like Google one how to do it and stuff. It's like fucking mentalist stuff. But yeah, so the roguelite elements in that are fun because you don't feel like, whereas you're doing those runs, like it's only the most you could lose is half hour worth of gameplay. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind that. Like if every roguelite was like that, I'd be fine. But I can't stand losing like fucking 3 or 4 hours worth of gaming to go back to the beginning. Whereas this is just you're doing one level and you're trying to last half an hour. And then I think later on you can unlock like modifiers, so you can like speed the clock up a bit and stuff.
Okay, right,
and stuff like that. But to actually roll the credits is quite like there's a lot of weird shit you have to do. You have to like unlock these certain characters. You have to find fucking vampires in the fucking game. It's not straightforward. It's not very much of a. There's not because it's so simplistic as well. There's not a lot of hand holding, so you have to just sort of figure it out on your own as you go and stuff. And there's not like a tutorial. You just literally just get chucked in and go, right, go. And you just go, oh, here we go. Okay, right. Yeah. So when there's like a new enemy, like, fucking hell, how do I deal with this? And then it's not until you start unlocking shit and upgrading and stuff. But yeah, it's just fucking, it's brilliant because it's so simplistic. the music's fantastic. It's like proper old school, like Mega Drive vibes. Yeah, but it's just a fucking dot, basically, just running around collecting other dots. It's basically more basic Pac-Man.
That's what Pac-Man's evolved into. Yeah. I do want to get to it because I just don't see it. Well,
I think you would enjoy it.
Do I need to be playing it on the fucking OLED though? Like, there must be a better way to be playing. I know it's on mobile for. Yeah,
I was going to say, well, that's what it fits. That's why I got it on Steam Deck, because it fits the handheld experience. But
I'll
even
have to buy
that
a PlayStation
Switch,
Portal just to.
Yeah, just to get that. I assume it's on Switch. Maybe that.
Yeah, I think it launched on Switch first, and like.
Oh, did it? I was going to say, well, it really does lend itself to, and that's the type of game where like you won't worry about getting better performance anywhere else because it's so basic and it'll run. Yeah, there ain't no ray tracing in this game.
There should be a pro update for it.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine that. More dots on the screen. Fuck me, yeah, no, very good. Is what it is. It's hard to sort of compare it because I don't. This is the first ever game I've played of it, but since then I have heard a lot of people talking about clones, so I don't know if this is a clone of something.
Yeah.
But just fun little experience, easy combat, nice half-hour chunks, which is great for sort of bite-sized gaming and handheld gaming. Absolute titles.
Can you bail out of a run halfway through if you're like, I've got to have a shit or something? Like,
yeah, but I think you lose all your progress.
Can you pause it?
You can pause it, yes. Okay. Thank fuck. Because, I've done that for big shit come on once, and I was like, oh. But Steam Deck, up I went with it. Yeah, there was a couple of times I was playing. I did sort of play it on the PC because I kept getting the blurry eyes and stuff. So I was playing it on that. And it's good. But if you need a turtle or something halfway through, can be there. But brilliant game.
Yeah.
I'd give Vampire Survivor. No, what's it called? Is it Vampire Survivor? Yeah.
Vampire Survivors.
I'll tell you what, fuck it. It's getting a platinum.
Christ!
It's that good, actually. I really did enjoy it, and I do want to go back. Yeah, fuck it.
It's in there now. I've put it in. There's no getting out of it.
Yeah, fuck it. It's that good. It is fucking wicked.
How long do you reckon you spent on it?
I don't know. My Steam will tell you.
Steamy.
My Steam. Well, actually, I haven't played it for a little while. I played it for. Well, it says 27. I thought I played it for longer than that.
Okay.
30 hours. But I've just literally done. The campaign basically. You can go through with every character. I've not even unlocked half stuff, and that's none of the DLC. Like you say, there's Castlevania DLC. I wouldn't mind having a scratch at. There's all sorts of DLC now.
Yeah.
But
nice.
Yeah.
Platinum for Vampire Survivors, the BAFTA award winner. Next one, SIFU.
SIFU
was nominated for Best Fighting Game one year at the Game
Fighting
Awards.
Game. Cool.
Not quite, Jeff, but
SIFU, yes, another Steam Deck purchase.
Me.
Yeah, and then found out, and then realised the other week when I took out PlayStation Plus, I've got it on PlayStation. I already had it. I just needed to re-up my fucking PS Plus, and I could have played it for free instead of buying it. But played it on the Steam Deck. Yeah, it runs really good on the Steam Deck, to be fair. I was a bit worried because it's a newish game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it runs sort of max settings at 60.
Oh.
And yeah, it was flawless, and especially for a fighting game, because that really can, and it's a very sort of reactionary. Combat's a bit like it was reminding me of Sekiro, actually, in terms of like its parrying system and punching. I've got a sword in that, but it's relies very heavily on the parry system, the fighting mechanics. But yeah, nice little game. It's very stylized, very I don't know what you'd call it, cel shaded maybe.
Yeah, it's not a realistic, like photorealistic look, is it? It's
no, it's more cartoony.
I shit on it.
He's fucking cartoony patheticness. But yeah, it's like a typical revenge story. They've stuck that straight with the Asians. They love a bit of revenge.
Yeah.
They're going to stick that with that. But yeah, it's just, it's only like, I think it's 5 levels, isn't it? Is it?
That's it. Yeah, it's not many, from what I remember.
No. And the cool mechanic is that when you die, you age.
Yes.
You start off at about 23 or something like that, is it? You're like young 20s, isn't you? Or you even younger than that? I can't remember.
Forget. Oh, fuck me, flagging. Have that on your fucking podcast. Do you have to do... So you've obviously got, like, you age up every time you die, and then there's a certain max age, and then you have to, like, restart. Do you have to restart the entire 5 stages, or is it only the stage you're
No,
on?
because I'm such an MLG that I never died that much to age that. I probably was close, no doubt, though. But yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting, actually. Because do you have any ideas? Surely you can't be 80 and still fighting.
No, I think it's like 82. I think you can.
Oh, is it? Right.
I think your health goes down, but your power goes up or something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Like
that's right.
Like that. But...
yeah, so I don't know about that, but I wonder if Biff will know, because Biff played it quite. I think
he did explain it all to me once, but he's so fucking boring that he went through one and then straight out the other, and it was a few years ago.
Biff. So so it's about 5 levels that you just play through, and that mechanic's really good. That like the more you die, the older you get, and like you say, your health declines, but your power goes up. But yeah, it is all about just learning. It sort of is a bit of a roguelike in terms of like when you do die, you sort of die because you've got like a new enemy's mechanic. I remember each of the 5 levels ends with a boss.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was like the 3rd boss or whatever, and there was one that had like this fucking weapon that they were like throwing at me, but I just could not work out how to fucking dodge it. So just for like, I think I must have lost about 6 ages on that, just for going, how the fuck do I dodge this? It's impossible. And then you figure it out eventually. But it's almost like that sort of Elden Ring sort of trial and error, just like keep doing it. Although this, you've got someone chomping at you going, you're getting older.
Yeah. Do you have to go back through the level if you die? Or can you just start from the boss? And
No, you just start from like where your checkpoint is. I think there's like quite a lot of checkpoints. So like if you walk into a room, because the levels are sort of structured, it's like typically a building. So it'll be like the basement or the warehouse, something like that. So you go through, and typically you're going through room by room or corridor through corridor. So as you go through a door, that you can't go back through it. So, or some of them, it does sort of lock you out. So it's almost like segments of different fights. So if you die on that fight, it will just take you back to the start of that fight, which is good because you don't lose too much progress. No. But yeah, like I say, it's very stylized. Music's very good. Almost like the music. Now and again, you get little traits of like Hotline Miami, that sort of style. But it's not like that throughout. It's not like one of these cool ass thing. But yeah, it's definitely the biggest thing is its sort of combat, just how sort of fluid the kung fu feels.
Is it so? That's the main thing. Like, does it feel?
Yeah, I was surprised at that because I was like either expecting like a Batman Arkham.
Yeah.
Fucking what's it called? What did they used to call that? I remember the old free flow combat. That was it. The old Creed games used to do it, where you just pretty much punch in and just press Y every now and again to block. Yeah. It's a bit more, like I say, it reminded me a bit more of Sekiro, and in terms of it really does rely on its timing. There are difficulties as well. I think if you whack it up, it is fucking solid. I think the window of parry gets smaller as well, so you really have to be shit on that. I think I did knock it out once just to have a little feel like, nope, going back down. Like you say, I don't like to struggle, so.
That's one of the things that put me off this. I was like, is this game fucking hard?
Yeah, it don't have to be. It just depends how sort of bothered you are by what level you do it. Like I say, there's about 4 or 5 different levels. I think I've done it on the equivalent of medium.
Yeah.
But then if you want to boost it up one up, it really does notch it up quite a tick. But no, I wouldn't say it's a hard game. It's just one of the. It's probably about the same hardness as Valhalla.
Okay.
So like there is a bit of challenge to it. Like you won't go through and piss it straight away and not die at all.
Very hard.
Yeah, but there will be a few bosses that stump you and a few
He likes his
enemies
hardness.
Yeah, and you can pick up weapons. You can fucking belt people with it. Some of the animations are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pick up like weapons, throw them. There's not really much exploration. There's a couple of collectibles you can do. You can get. There's stuff you can find, and yeah, you get like a small cutscene at the end of each level. There's very minimal story to this. It really is about the gameplay, and to be fair, the gameplay is pretty. Serviceable, like it is good. It feels good to fight. Like I did recently play a demo of a sort of clone of this on Steam. I forgot what it was called, and it was trash. Axe of Blood I played, and it was like a Philippines version. There's a
shit on them.
Shit on them. There's a film that came out called The Raid. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they tried to make that into this like a SIFU game of The Raid,
right.
and you can you play that and you can feel how shit the fighting feels. So the SIFU boys is it Slow Clap? Yeah, they've done an outstanding job to get that combat tip top.
Is there any DLC or anything with it now, or is it? Do they add? I think they added the difficulty modes, didn't they? I think they that's one of the things.
Is that what they added? There was also like a wave-based thing as well. I did one level of that, but it was quite hard.
Do you not level up your fella when you go through? Or is it just
you have like upgrades? Yeah, so that very much acts into like the roguelite. So yeah, every time
he says he fucking hates them, and he's just put one on platinum, and now he's trying to pick this one up. So when you finish that level, you go back to your main house hub thing, and there's like a skill tree that you can add, and it's gives you like extra shit. I can't remember what the fucking skills were now. Maybe being able to do stuff, and God, this is the trouble with this brain. It don't hold my information for very long. But there is a skill tree, so you essentially level up. So towards the end, you are better than you was, but you are older. So all right, fair enough. Anything else on SIFU?
SIFU, no. Combat good, music good, stylized, brilliant, run perfect. I'm gonna give SIFU a gold.
Took the championship. I'm just trying to find what Biff gave it. So SIFU gets a gold off Adkins Steam Deck.
Steam Deck.
When did this come out? Was it a couple of years ago?
Couple of years ago, yeah. SIFU came out in the store page says 23. Currently last year. March last year.
Crapped a silver on it.
Silver.
At least he finished it.
Yeah, I've seen him playing it again. Cool, he loves them silvers.
Yeah, he goes back
he's
to them.
He's done it quite. Yeah, he does go back, doesn't he?
Goes back crying a lot of the time.
Never went back to Origins, though, did he?
No, he didn't. 15 minutes away from the end, and couldn't bring himself to see what's his name, Barbeck? No.
Yeah, what's that? Bayek. Yeah, it was Bayek.
Racist for fucking that up. I can't remember. It was fucking like nearly 10 years ago now.
Yeah, it was.
Ezio Aldous. Anyone remember? Ezio
it's the only one worth remembering.
What's that first one? What was his name?
Oh, Altador?
Altair. Yeah.
What was 3? There's the real challenge.
Connor something. That's all I remember.
He's done it. Well done. Yeah, it is Connor something because he had like a.
It's like Connor Mills, best that wrestler from RevPro.
Native American.
Yeah. Paints all the British as absolute pigs. Didn't like that propaganda.
Kenway knocking about as well.
It does have Kenway in it.
Cool.
Oh dear. Right. I'm going to say last one for this segment.
Yep.
And then I'll go to bed because I've fucking gone downhill. And what an absolute thriller to end it on.
Oh, God, I know what you're going to say.
Bluey, the video game.
I tell you what, this is Game of the Year material. Absolute. Do you know what this was? The kids were playing because I had Game Pass.
Okay, right.
I nearly bought it. And I actually, because I think that fucking Miller, he fucking reviewed it because his kid's like obsessed with it.
Right.
Bluey, so they released the game. It is the worst video game ever. It's straight. I think the whole thing. It's about. I think it was retailed at about 39.99, and the whole game's about an hour long. It's
daylight robbery, that
absolute
is.
trash. The only reason I played this is because I found out that you can 1000G it or platinum it in like 3 hours or something. You just have to run through it about 3 times. And it was the game that pushed me brilliantly. It pushed me from the 99,000 to 100k.
This was the game that did it. That got you over to the 100k.
Took me over into the 100. I couldn't believe it.
God.
I think I was on like 999, 920 or something like that. And I was like, I just need fucking no, it must have been less than that. But I needed like 1000G, and I was like,
yeah.
I just knew this, and I was like, fuck it, let's do it. This will get Hull. Even though, when did Hull get married? It was fucking then when he beat me to that,
wasn't
wasn't it?
That was
God knows.
fucking 6-7 years ago now.
Yeah. So yeah,
100K.
absolute trash. Bluey though, the franchise.
What is Blue?
Like,
I don't even know what this is.
have you not seen it? The little like dog thing. It's like Australian dogs.
I remember Blue's
To be fair,
Clues.
it's like a kids' TV show.
Paw Patrol, I know, but this is something different.
This little fucker. Do you know him? Oh,
They
no.
all look the same, these little fucks. I've got him up on here.
Must have seen him. The little blue dog. It is, to be fair, like well, I'm watching fucking kids' TV shows all week. They're so shit. But this one, it's got like, I don't know. It's quite cute, and it's got a bit of bollards about it. Bluey. It's quite nice.
Blue's Clues or nothing.
Blue's Clues. Yeah. So yeah, I think just because like the TV show's bearable to watch, it's just like it's like a little family of dogs basically, and then like I'll tell you one thing it does. It makes you feel like a shit parent because like they're so good to their kids. And you think, I'll never do that with my kids. It's sort of like the fucking, you watch it and that's what you should be like with your kids. It's like fucking the best parents.
There is fucking about a dozen Blues Clues games that have come out over the years. For PC.
Really?
Got Blues Big Musical. There's like a fucking... Oh no, it's a direct-to-video live-action animated musical film. What's that got to do in the console? Why you can't trust Wikipedia?
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely
Blues,
trash.
not
Yeah,
Blues.
so this is, the kids wanted to play this, had it on Game Pass, 1000G'd it. It's an hour and a half long, and you're playing through essentially like an episode and jumping around. An episode.
What is it, a platformer or a...
Yeah, it's like a
fighting
platformer,
game?
but it's like a 2D platformer. So you're sort of just like bobbling along, going through their house. And then you go to the beach and you have to like collect little things. It's trash. It is absolute
And they want
gash.
30 odd quid for this. If it's,
But yeah, I'm
if you ain't
amazed
subscribed.
that is the price. 15 is a cheek for an hour long. Like, and that's, like I say, it took me about 3 hours, I reckon.
get
The kids
that.
played it for about an hour, and I was like they kept popping trophy achievements, and I was like, right, I'm gonna have to fucking I'm gonna have to play through this and do it. And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to play it from the beginning, so I can't platinum it and then not play the whole game. And because it was like an hour long, I was like, oh fuck it, I'll do it. And I'll never get those 3 hours back in my life.
No.
But I'm just glad I never fucking. Well, I paid Game Pass, but if I'd have bought that for the kids, it would have annoyed me. And if they didn't get 50 hours out of it, got Albert fucking putting 300 hours into fucking Mary Odyssey.
Yeah. Still playing Astro Botany.
Yeah, he's on Astro, but now even Krog's trying to rip
Get him
it
on
out
those
his
challenge
hands.
levels. See how he
Oh, no,
likes those.
he's fucking outdone me.
Has he?
He's fucking beating my records, a little prick. Unbelievable. He cheats though. He watches them on YouTube so he can see the shortcuts.
Little bastard.
A little fuckery, isn't
Little
he?
sneaky bugger.
He calls it tactics. Goes, Dad, I've got a new tactic. I go, what are you talking about? And then
YouTube.
Krog texted me the other day and said, "Can he borrow it?" And I said, "Absolutely not." I said, "I'm afraid then kids literally come home from school and play it till they go to bed."
Keeps him quiet.
I'll have to buy it again if I lend it to him. But yeah, absolute tosh, Bluey, the video game. It's It's a fucking stain on the Bluey household. What's the worst thing?
You can put it in self-storage so it doesn't go in the gallery.
Yeah, I ain't going in the gallery.
Goes in the car park outside.
Goes in the car park outside and set fire to it. It is an absolute travesty. How they've managed to put that game. When it was like announced, I was like, "Oh, that might be interesting." You know, it'd be like a shit fucking like Lego type game. Yeah. But I was like, "Oh, maybe it could be good." No, they've ruined it.
Oh well, Bluey the video game goes in the self-storage. Joins Mortal Kombat 1 in there for you.
Oh, I just thought you followed that Maximilian dude, didn't you?
I don't follow him, but I see a lot of his stuff pop up. Cause
of course, he did a lot of Final Fantasy, didn't he?
That's it, yeah.
He just released a video today saying, I think Mortal Kombat 1 is dead.
Oh,
apparently WB has just had a big announcement talking about...
we spent 100 million on AEW. We can't afford to fund this.
Yeah, I wonder if that is actually. They said that they're not going to be doing smaller projects now. They've got their 4 big games: Batman Arkham, Mortal Kombat, Hogwarts, and what else is their big franchise?
They say DC, or is it Batman?
Yeah, so I was thinking
because I saw they called out specifically Batman.
Yeah, Batman. It's definitely Batman. Batman, Hogwarts. And the other 2, which I forgot, I can't remember. But anyway, so they're not doing so. But yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Game of Thrones, it says here.
Game of Thrones, that's it. Yeah, they own the rights to that.
What is this Game of Thrones game?
Yeah, I was going to say, last fucking Game of Thrones thing, they did the Telltale game. I quite enjoyed that, to be fair. But yeah, so unless they've got something big coming up for that. But yeah, so it means. But yeah, they've just released the new DLC pack. And they did the story, and it's undersold. No one gives a shit, and apparently WB are about to pull the plug on it, and because they did a seasons thing, and they reckon they've just finally released the last character of this DLC, new DLC, and they think they're going to wipe their hands of it because it's failed on every level. So it fucking belongs in there.
Why did it fail though? I mean, you didn't like it, but was it because it felt to me like Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter?
Perfect fucking jump on point because you love a thing,
rebrand. But then we spoke about it, didn't we? Where that fella knows about it.
Yeah, so it's not.
It's not. But like to me, in my head, I was like those are like the 3 big like fighting games. Yeah, they all sort of came out in the last 18 months, 2 years. And I don't know if people like. We're kind of already settled into Tekken and we're settled into Street Fighter.
I did wonder that. Well, I've got Street Fighter 6 here, and that reviewed incredibly well.
Yeah.
I think even MK1 did. I don't know what the fucking developers have played, but it's proved because it undersold. No one's fucking playing it. You look at MK11, everyone was playing that. It was like the DLC was thriving. This has just had nothing but bad news since. Even the devs are like, oh, we put all our hard work into it, and now WP are pulling the plug. No one's bought the DLC because it's trash. Everyone went fucking mental because they changed the gender of 2 characters.
Oh, did they?
Did you see that? Yeah, the 2 robots, even though they're fucking robots. What? They made them women, and everyone went 2 black women as well, so that everyone went.
Hang on, what do you mean? What the people who play the performance?
So the characters. Sorry, I didn't explain that well. So yeah, the characters.
Fucking robots.
Sector and I felt this is the other thing. I think they were robots in the original game. They didn't have people in them, and then now in this one, they're like fucking Iron Man suits, but they're on. But they were supposed to be. I think the story is that they're Sub-Zero and Scorpion in robot form,
right?
Whatever. So that happens in their lore. So they come out in like Mortal Kombat 2 or 3 or whatever, and then in this one they're been remade and they're like black females that adorn the suits in them, and everyone went, you can't have that. So I think it got a lot of fucking hate from that, and then it's just undersold. It's a shame because the DLC pack was like the fucking fighter pack. I fucking hate them fighter packs, but the lineup we had like fucking Peacemaker, fucking what's his name from the boys.
Terrifier in any of these games.
No, he should be though.
Yeah, he should be,
No,
shouldn't he?
I think Scream's been asking, whatever they call him, Ghostface.
Ghostface. Yeah.
He's been like rumoured to be in loads of fighting games. And he
Yeah.
never appeared, and he finally appeared in this one, and everyone's gone, "Oh, is he? Right, yeah,
See you
whatever."
later.
And yeah, it's just got shit. So yeah, that Max did a video, and he's like, "I think MK's dead." And good. Out in the South Stage with Bluey the video game.
Bluey the video game, Twin Mirror, Persona 3 Reload expansion pass.
The expansion pass. I thought you put 3 in there.
No,
then.
3 was fine, but that was diabolical. That expansion pack. Harmony Fall of the Review.
Oh, I see that winning.
That may be one of the most dull games I've ever fucking played in my fucking life. Life is Strange, True Colors, Wavelengths.
Cool. Is that the new one?
No, that was like the DLC. No. The new one's like that. That's not getting great reviews, actually. The reason why I did Wavelengths is I was like, right, I'm up to speed. I can jump into this third one, and then the reviews weren't great, and I was like, well, it ain't gonna touch fucking Metaphor, so it can fucking jog on as far as I'm concerned.
What's it called? Is it?
It's called Double Exposure.
Double Exposure, that's the one. Is it Square Enix still, or is it completely different people now?
No, it is Square Enix still doing it.
It's not the original, because I only ever played the original.
Yes.
I did quite enjoy that. That was pretty good.
So let me just make sure. So Don't Nod originally did Life is
that's
Strange.
the one.
Then we had Deck 9 take over.
That's it.
They did like a prequel of the first one, Beyond or Before the Storm. I always get it wrong. And then I think they started taking championships. I'm trying to think if Life is Strange was done by which one was done by. I don't know if they did number 2 or not. I've got the internet right here. I could just look it up. Yeah, so they did do that. So then they sort of came off it.
Yeah.
I don't think they've had Square Enix. No, they haven't published anything with them since. So Don't Nod sort of went off on their own and been doing their own stuff, like Twin Mirror. That was a sack of spuds. That Banisher's Ghost of New Eden is what I want to play. But that fucking Vampire as well. I never went and played that.
Oh god, yeah.
Because there's
double
vampires to be had. Why am I? Oh, because I played that Rondo of Blood, wasn't it? Yeah, so that set me off down there. So anyway, that's Life is Strange, and that Wavelengths was just again a dull entry. So that's what self storage is for. Tom Clancy, Division 2, Warlords expansion. There's a lot of expansions getting chucked in here.
And now you've got a fucking expansion up for Game of the Year. It's tickling people's fucking bollards. What's your views on that?
Dog shit. Next.
Should be in there.
If you can't buy it on its own...
Yeah, I agree. And I think what makes it worse is the fact that Elden Ring won like 2 years ago.
It's kind of already had its go.
It's had its go. Now it's up for fucking... Yeah.
Jeff, what are you doing, mate? Come on. It's an easy win. There's just so many own goals with it. But it would be hilarious now that if it won it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because everyone would just be like...
What's the game that got stung out? It's thing in it. Wukong. Is that him?
That's been nominated. That won the Golden Joysticks.
Oh yeah, people saying that Stellar Blade got
shafted a bit. Tits McGee, wasn't it? She got shafted
into the fucking wank bank. Poor old cow. Can't wait to give that a go with my trousers down. I did play the demo. It is very good. It's very Devil May Cry. There's some Nier DLC for it now as well.
Is it just a suit though?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what happened in the story of that. So if they were like, "Oh, here's this character," I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
That was a fucking headache. That for game. It was good, but fuck me, that was an headache.
I want to play that Replicant, like the redo of the original.
Was that a PS4 game?
I think the original was older than that even.
It was PS3, that was. It's completely, it's fucking weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but that Nier Replicant... Is it called Replicant?
Yeah, that was like a remake of that original PS3 game, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
2021 got reviews being chucked out, so...
Christ.
Yeah, it was on PS4 originally as well.
Oh, it is? Fuck me.
Too many games to play.
Automata's like fucking seen as the holy grail, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck mud.
It is an absolute fucking hellhole.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like the standards were lower back then. I think if I replayed that, I'd be
I was
like,
going to say, get them
why am I running through this
2024.
empty world? Like, replaying this game again that I've finished, and it's wants me to go back. Strange games, but
Are you going to jump into Silent Hills 2?
yes.
Oh, you are? Interesting.
Well, that's definitely one that I will get. Basically, once Metaphor's cleared, it's like I've got
Open
I've
season.
got a roadmap, but I might have a sit down with a roadmap.
You've got,
on the
what's
toilet
it called,
and go,
sitting here?
I want to do right. So here's the pressing concerns I've got.
Yeah.
Once Metaphor's done, one is Assassin's Creed Mirage to get ready for Shadow. Even though I probably
What did I do that in? You could do that. You always take longer than me.
you said
but
easy platinum, didn't you? So
it was easy platinum. Just seeing what time. I reckon you could do that in 25 to 30.
Okay.
No, I can't see it on here. But yeah, I think it took me about 20 odd. So yeah, you'd be 25.
So that's lurking. Then I did want to replay Death Stranding.
Right, ready for 2. Cool.
And I wanted to replay
Director's Cut.
I've got that through that.
Did you haven't done that because there's that DLC of story as well, wasn't
Yeah, I didn't touch that, so that's another reason to go back to it. Same with Ghost of Tsushima. That's another sequel coming next year. That's set 100 years after, so it's less relevant. But I wanted to do those as well. So I'm like, well, something's got to give here because we're playing old games again. And the Silent Hill 2 waiting. Then Monster Hunter won't be far away.
Oh yeah, you got to get on that.
It's fucked next year.
You fucked. Have you fucked Hogwarts off? You're not getting involved in that.
That's just something I've just put a pin in that, and I'll be like, if I ever
I
get
ain't playing
spare
that
50 hours or whatever I need.
fucking wizard shit.
Yeah, I watched all the fucking films though, didn't I, to prepare for it?
Yeah, shit.
The game come out, and I was like,
That's it, sitting there. I'm going to platinum that.
yeah.
Jedi Survivor. You done
Got to do that. Jedi Survivor, I've got to do.
That's now up for. That's now in the.
A lot of those games though, I was waiting for like PS5 Pro to fix, like Jedi Survivor, for example. Was...
Yeah, it's a Survivor. I've got to say, it run. I just finished recently, platinumed it. I finished the last bit, and it runs so much smoother. It actually looks how it should.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal.
Silent Hill 2 was another. I was like, that chugs a little bit. So I was like, right, put all this on the back burner.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2 run through and the DLC I wanted to do. Like, I've really fucked my life up here with Metaphor sitting there for 3 months.
Callisto being replayed. It's the way to do it. Just start multiple projects. At least you finish them. I just start them and then wander
To be
off.
fair, I was like, I'm going to play through Callisto like from start to finish, and then once that platinum popped, I was like,
that's the trial. As soon as I see that platinum trophy, I don't think I'll ever touch the game ever again, unless I go through the campaign again. But I can't think of any platinums that I've replayed. Once that platinum trophy, it's sands wash.
There's like a dismember mode I wanted to play on it, where I think if you hit them once, it just like rips an arm off. Yeah, but you can't. But it locks the trophies if you put. So that's why I didn't.
Oh, that's a shame.
But now I've got the platinum.
That's it. Open season.
Again, why am I overcomplicating this? I could just delete that and then never. I mean, I liked it. I don't even hate the game, but you have to move on for stuff. Unfortunately,
I nearly bought that not Forbidden West, Zero Dawn remastered, because it's only a tenner for the upgrade, and it was the only game I could get on fucking digital.
Yeah.
Because I lost my save, didn't I, for fucking the OG, and I never did Frozen Wilds. I went to play it just before West come out, and then went right, and I lost my save, and you have to be fucking level 50
Did
or
you
whatever.
play Forbidden West?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done the DLC.
No.
So yeah, it's all in the pipeline, isn't it?
Indeed. Right.
Talking of pipeline, you need to go.
Go and lay down. What have we got? I'll just leave people with a little.
Oh yeah, here's what's to come.
We'll tease them. What's this? I just literally saved it down and lost it. So we've got Metal Gear Rising plus the DLC. I think you've played that game for a year almost.
Oh, that's fucking brilliant, that game. Yeah. Oh,
Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I think that's the remastered version.
No, it wasn't.
Right. It was the OG.
OG.
Astro Bot.
Yeah.
God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. Far Cry 6. And then another game that I'm sure you've played at least once before, Monster Hunter Rise. And I looked through the backlog and I couldn't find any opinions for your Star Wars Jedi Survivor, so I'll pick your brains about that as well.
I'll do that. Yeah.
So that's what will come in the next edition for people. They've got that to look forward to. So
Lovely.
there we go. That closes this soft launch for the monthly podcast of Idle Game Chat. December 2024. We'll probably see you in, what is it? It'll be January 2025, but there'll be all fantasy gaming coming out this month and quizzes.
Yeah.
If I can be asked to organise it. But,
Oh, yeah. Oh, you did give me a date, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I can. And like I say, I've not got much on other than watching your brother get defeated.
Yeah.
Don't show this podcast.
I think it'll go live after he's done it. So
Yeah, that's true.
cool. Right, I'll play the
Alright.
music. I'll get us out of here. Nothing more for us to say other than thanks for your time and ta-da.
This was a Dimp Digital production.